Pregnant women expect a Mother's Day gift even if they haven't had their baby yet. About the same number of dads say they didn't know that. This is ABC News.
I know my business, but I don't know much about creating a website.
Who has the time to create their own website?
I always thought a website would cost a lot of money. Then I discovered Wix.com.
Wix.com was the perfect solution.
It's so easy. You choose a beautiful design, write what you want to say, and move your images where you want them. No coding, no confusion.
And the best part is that Wix.com is absolutely free.
No matter what size your business, people don't take you seriously unless you have a professional-looking website. Create your own stunning website for free at Wix.com. That's Wix.com.
At Grainger, we understand running a facility means wearing a lot of hats. One minute you're replacing a condenser fan motor, the next you're swapping out fluorescent bulbs. That's why we offer over 900,000 products in 31 product categories. Many ready right when you need them, from HVAC equipment to safety supplies. Whatever you need, even if it's a new hat. Yeah, we've got those too. To help keep your business running efficiently, call, click Grainger.com, or stop by a branch today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
And now it's time for the voice.
Don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I want you to get up right now.
Go to the window,
Open it.
stick your head out and yell,
Haydenburg! Top of the world!
The voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been anything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini.
Welcome. Great Thursday to you in beautiful Ocala, Florida. Nice, sunny, beautiful day in Ocala. First day of the Players' Championship over in Ponte Vedra. I'm Tom Schmitz. Buddy Martin will be along to join us momentarily. Lori Martin Gregory in the co-pilot seat. Lori, how are you this Thursday?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. How's my little man doing behind me, though? How's Alexander doing?
How you doing, buddy?
You see my incision?
I do. So you're good then.
I'm fine.
He's fine. There you go.
He's fine.
Alexander had a little blip in the road of childhood.
Yep.
But went and took into Red Sox games because of it. So
Took in a Red Sox game.
There you go. So,
that's right.
It is Thursday. It's Healthy Living. I have a few questions I want to ask you during Healthy Living. I ran across some things that maybe you know about, maybe you don't, but I've heard some rumors, so I want you to try to dispel them or say if they're true.
We'll do that because it's a process.
It is a process. But let's get to the headlines of the day real quick. So this kidnapping, you've been following this kidnapping story in Cleveland, Lauren?
Minutely. I have a theory about it, which we can talk about in the next segment.
But the bail has been set.
I'm aware of it.
Bail has been set for Ariel Castro, the Cleveland man accused of kidnapping and keeping 3 young women as captives for a decade.
Now, he has brothers involved, right?
No, the brothers have not been charged.
Just him?
Just him. $2 million per charge, an amount that indicated the judge wants to keep Castro in jail. He's charged with 4 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of rape. He's on a $8 million bond. Safe to say he's not going anywhere.
Probably not.
If you were wondering, I wasn't, but some people may be. The dead Boston bombing suspect, the older brother,
number 1, we call him.
Suspect Tamerlan Saranev, was secretly buried in an undisclosed location outside of Worcester. Say it right. Some people say Worcester.
Right.
It's Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah. I got a good friend of mine, fraternity brother of mine from Worcester. I got coached up on that a long time ago.
Right.
It took a week-long search for a community willing to take the body. And I always thought, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but remember when Osama bin Laden was killed? Remember how they said they couldn't show you his body as proof of evidence that he was dead because the Muslim heritage said, the Muslim rules said he had to be buried within 24 hours, so they buried him at sea?
Right.
Why couldn't we have done this as a scumbag? Put him out there as fish chum.
He is Muslim, so why couldn't...
Right, why couldn't we just took him out on a speedboat somewhere like the mob does and put some concrete shoes on him and just drop him in?
seems logical.
I would have been okay with that.
I think the family was fighting, though, right, for the burial
But
in
he's Muslim.
Boston.
He needs to be buried within 24 hours.
I know.
Or
Dissension.
at least that's what they told us about Osama bin Laden.
Right. In this case, though, maybe because he was a suspect, they had to collect evidence. Who knows?
I think still. Why bury him on American soil?
You know someone's going to find out, put it on social media.
Of course somebody's going to tell. With this day and age of social media, somebody's going to put out where he is, and he's going to be desecrated. You know he is.
Yeah.
But he has been buried now.
And his brother, suspect number 2, is still at Fort Devens, correct?
Certainly. It took a week long before I wonder how they approach that. Excuse me, by the way, we have the dead bombing suspect. Can we bury him in your backyard, please?
You know how they did it.
Could we put him in the indigent city, the city cemetery where all the indigents are buried?
Sure, how much are you going to pay us?
Yeah. I guarantee you there was money involved.
Of course. Follow the money.
There was money
of course.
I'm hosting the show. He's sending you notes.
I know. We're always...
He's sending me texts.
Who's sending you texts?
Buddy is
Such
always...
a hot mic.
He's always...
It was in
producing.
Lori's face. You know, she's obviously the prettiest on the set, so...
Debatable.
No, it's not. If you looked at me and JJ real close.
Well, I'm not on the camera.
Actually, the nicest probably looking
well,
person
you're
on
covering
camera
him up.
Is behind
Alexander.
us. That's right.
Alexander's probably the nicest looking person on camera.
That's right.
So, this weekend, another thing in the news, it's an Ocala news this weekend. Great Gatsby opens here.
Yeah,
huge gala event, sold out. Gala
Can't
event.
even.
At the
I don't
Marion
even
Theater.
have tickets to go. I'm going to go review it. I have to go
I
the
don't
10
have
o'clock.
tickets. I don't have tickets. Not going to be in town though, so it's good for me.
Doesn't matter for you.
Event going to have people dressed in period dress down there on Friday. Buddy will be down. The Voice of Ocala will be doing the show
White jacket.
live from in front of the. Is Buddy going to wear a dinner jacket?
He's going to be decked. I'm
Oh,
sure.
I'm
He's
sure.
going to get all into it. I'm going as a movie reviewer.
I bet Miss Joni will be decked out.
I'm sure.
Angie Lewis, Tom Ingram
To
already
the
already
teeth.
taken photos up front. Classic cars. A lot of people from the villages bringing up classic cars.
Flapper outfits.
I'm concerned about one thing.
What?
That the event will overshadow the movie because I don't think the movie's going to be that good. I've watched reviews. I've watched previews. And I've read reviews and everything.
I know.
And then I thought about Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Same director.
I know.
And I thought, well, Moulin Rouge was complete garbage.
It's a big. it's really a very big film for this director, and I can tell you why in the next segment. I've also read the mediocre reviews, and it's very over the top, and that's very Baz Luhrmann style, and unfortunately, this is sad for him because this is he's a lot on this writing on this film, this director, so not so good for him. But it does look interesting. I mean, if you sign on for the ride, it's going to be a decent film.
It
may not be an Academy Award winner.
If you're a Leo fan,
if you're a Leo fan or Carey Mulligan or Tobey Maguire, the first red flag, honestly, is that it was supposed to be released at Christmas, which would have made it Oscar contention. They pushed it to now, so that's your first red
I've
flag.
heard not so great things about this movie.
Yeah,
already.
not so great. Yeah. But it's an event, and that's what makes it fun. What makes it fun for us in Ocala is that there's an event associated with it. So and then it's.
And it is at the historic Marion Theater.
Correct. Which, if you haven't seen Iron Man, get down there. You got tonight, and then it's gone from the big screen downstairs.
It's going upstairs.
It's going upstairs, but very good film. Flick actually saw it again.
Dang.
Liked it even more second time.
Well, there you go. And finally, before we go to break, news here in Ocala, the school board, the Marion County School Board, citing budget concerns, rejected pay increases for teachers and paraprofessionals. The decision ended a year-long stalemate between the district and Marion Education Association, which represents the teachers. The decision means both unions have to accept contracts for the 2012-2013 year that do not include raises.
That's not ever a good sign.
No cost of living raises for a teacher. Why would you think a teacher would want to show up and give you a quality day's work if you're not giving them a quality day's pay?
Not a good sign. I don't like that.
Once again, another reason a lot of parents are pulling their children out of the public school system and their dollars out of the public school system and putting them where?
Private
in
school?
the private school system. I get upset about this. I was a teacher, you know.
I know you
I
were.
get very
I
upset
can
about
see
this.
the passion all over your face about this.
It's
not a good
citing
thing.
budget concerns.
Well, we have had a couple years of hard knocks in terms of property value.
Yeah,
and that's going to affect
how about
your
not having
taxes.
3 assistant principals at a high school?
You think?
How about only have 2? So you can take the assistant principal's money and divide that up and get 2 teachers out of it. How about that?
That could work.
Of course it could work. Makes sense. That's why they won't do it. Once you're making money, you're not going to give up that money so somebody below you can make money.
Correct.
It's just not part of how it works. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Lori will give us more than innuendo about The Great Gatsby. We'll do that next on The Voice of Ocala. On Thursday, Healthy Living coming up also in this hour.
We're going to talk about 11 health foods that could kill you.
Wow. Buddy Martin in the second hour. All that on The Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
Situations in the state where we got the city police department, we got the county sheriff, and we got the state patrol. Hypothetically speaking, let's say the state patrol is chasing a bank robber with a hostage into Marion County, into the city of Ocala, and they take hostage someplace. How is it determined what department would make the ultimate decisions on what to do to solve the situation?
What we do in a situation like that where there's a joint response is we institute what's known as incident command, and it's a joint command basically of the situation. Normally, the agency that started the incident is overall in charge of it, but it's going to depend on what happens once it gets there. The leaders on the scene that night, the watch commander, the supervisors from whatever agencies get together and they implement that incident command, and that's how those decisions are made.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. Listen to my show weekdays from 3 to 6 right here on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
If it happens in Ocala, you'll hear it first on WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Alice, you gotta hear that.
What?
When I call Devon Self Storage at 873-0777, they answer the phone always so happy.
Always?
Here, listen.
Thank you for calling Devon Self Storage. This is John. How may I help you today?
George.
What?
You hung up.
Of course. I know all about Devon Self Storage across from Hobby Lobby and 200 and how you can store just about anything there and you have your own code to get in. I just want to hear him answer the phone again.
Again?
Well.
Yes, George, yes.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news talk and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luggers. So do I.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Hi, Buddy Martin here. I'll be along next. Stay tuned right after Laurie and Tom on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. Don't touch that dial.
This is Tom Schmitz live in WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. According to the Ocala Star-Banner, the Department of Justice is suing the hospice company founded by Florida's Senate president, accusing it of submitting tens of millions of dollars in fraudulent Medicare claims for more than a decade. Vitus Hospice and Vitus Healthcare submitted claims for emergency services for patients that weren't needed, weren't provided, and were provided to patients who weren't eligible under Medicare requirements, according to the Department of Justice. This news break was brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. If you would like to schedule a special event at one of Ocala's premier facilities, call 237-6644 today.
Nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way.
By the way, I actually worked for the competitor of that hospice company, which is Vitas.
Vitas.
Yes. It's one of the few national hospice firms. It's actually a not-for-profit hospice, which I'm very against.
Seems like somebody was making profits.
Lots of profits.
Seems like somebody was.
I'm sorry. It's not a non-profit hospice. Yes. I worked for the non-profit version, which was their competitor, and they are known for being very dirty.
If you wonder what show you're listening to the Voice of Ocala. That was Lori Martin Gregory.
Yes.
I'm Tom Schmitz. Buddy Martin will be along momentarily. Story about Department of Justice is suing the hospice company founded by Florida's Senate president for bilking Medicare out of more than $10 million, I say.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Vitas.
Wow.
They have a horrible reputation in the industry. Not good.
Speaking of industries, let's go back to the film industry for a moment.
Okay.
Iron Man 3, smashing records everywhere.
So great.
I have heard more than one person. You last week said it is the best of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Gave it 4.5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
You said you tempered that by saying you may have went in with such a low thought of what it was going to be that it was so surprising to you. That may be why you gave it such a high number, but still a very good movie.
Yes.
I'm now to understand that Gary's seen it twice. Your husband has seen it?
No, he hasn't seen it. I have seen it
You
twice. Yes, I went back and took a family member, my pseudo-nephew, Grant, with me. And he loved it, and I loved it even more the second time.
What does that mean? Can we go back to that?
Grant,
pseudo-nephew?
Yes.
I have a cousin who's really
cousins.
like a sibling, and so his son is really not.
Okay.
He's really more like a nephew than a cousin. So
and
pseudo-nephew.
Grant beats me at golf.
Yeah, he's vicious.
Yeah, he's not good.
He's quite a good golfer.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm not sure. Can't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Last year, the Bo Williams I can't even talk about that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So
this movie's a great movie. It's a must see.
I think it's a classic film because it is entertaining.
You can obviously see it at the Marion Theater if you get a chance on the big screen.
If you can tonight.
If you can't see it at the Marion Theater, and shame on Tom. I'm holding out. I'm going to go see it in 3D.
Well,
you know where I'm going to go see it? I'm going to go.
The other place.
No, not here in town.
Okay.
I'm going to see it in IMAX 3D.
Ooh, that's going to be great. Now, see, okay, you get a pass then.
You go see it on an IMAX screen.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Because you told me you got to see it on the big screen.
Yes, you did.
And I thought, well, if it's so good, you got to see it on the big screen, and it's in 3D. They have an IMAX 3D down at Disney World, and so
I'm sure that will be great. But honestly, the special effects are so good, you don't even need 3D. Honestly,
but 3D would just be the.
I'm still of the belief that 3D has a long way to go in terms of its entertainment value.
You do remember Jaws 3D, right?
I remember how bad it used to be, and I know it's come a long way. But it's still, for me, it's. You don't miss a thing. Now, IMAX 3D, different story. But if you go and see Iron Man 3 at the Marion in non-3D, you're not going to miss a thing.
No,
I mean, there's a scene where Iron Man is rescuing falling passengers from
Right.
Air Force One. And it's just so unbelievably realistic. It's amazing.
Well, and I don't think there's much difference between seeing a movie in 2D on a normal size movie screen and 3D on a normal size movie
Right.
screen. If the action's there, it's there regardless of 2D or 3D. But IMAX 3D,
It's a whole. No, I give it to you.
IMAX
There. It's
3D is a whole different
It
ballgame.
is. It's true. Yeah, it really is. But it's a great story. The script is very well done. It starts off sort of dark, and then it actually maintains a comical thread to the storyline all the way through, and even the bad guy is kind of funny. It's very true to its comic book nature in that sense. So, you know.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it in IMAX 3D.
Well, you got to give us a report on that. That should be interesting.
So now also, The Great Gatsby starts this Friday.
Starting Friday.
Huge event at the Marion.
Right.
At the Marion Theater. Buddy will be there broadcasting live.
Is
from
the
3 to
event
6.
sold out?
The
Or just
event,
I know the movie. I know the 7 o'clock is sold out, but
the
is
7 o'clock movie. So to be able to enjoy the hors d'oeuvres and everything,
right,
you have to have a movie ticket. But you can still
I
come
see.
down to the block party.
right. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
can't enjoy the refreshments.
Just because the movie's sold out doesn't mean you can't come enjoy the block party that they're throwing in front of the Marion Theater.
Oh, great. Okay.
They're blocking the streets off. They got vintage cars.
So I
Everybody-
might come down for
People will
that.
be dressed in
Yeah,
period
last
pieces and
time
everything.
Tom ruined all the fun with the Avengers because he broke the hammer that everybody.
Thor's hammer wasn't that strong. You know, what do you want from me? I'm a
That's
big
right.
guy.
Yeah. But you didn't break the
Ruined it
hammer.
for the
You
kids.
broke
By
the
the way,
stick, right?
by the way,
Yeah.
by the way, let's put blame where that goes.
Yeah.
Tito Comas is the one that paid for me to hit the car because he wanted to see what I would
So
do
he
to the
egged
car.
he egged you on.
Oh, good. He
Okay.
paid for it. What if the guy pays for it? I'm not supposed to swing the hammer?
I guess. I don't know.
And the hammer broke into a bunch of pieces. Although Angie Lewis will tell you, she didn't understand the safety issues there because she's an insurance.
She
person.
probably never would have
And now
done it again.
Oh, because they left the glass in the car and
Oh.
everything. so
No,
kids
just let
are-
that one go by.
Kids are busting the glass with the hammer and everything. Angie said she walked up and was like, what are they doing?
That's funny.
So, but this event's going to be a great event. And like I said, even if you don't have a ticket to the movie itself, come
You can still go down to the
enjoy
block party.
yeah,
It's
enjoy
free.
the block party, yeah.
But yeah, and then there's a 10 o'clock show.
There is a 10 o'clock show.
Yeah.
So, but
It's going to be entertaining. It's not going to
it's
be an
gonna
award winner.
It's not going to win any awards.
No. And
But
there
it'll be
are
an entertaining
folks,
movie.
my friend Cass just texted me. There are folks that are Baz Luhrmann fans. He's the director that loved Moulin Rouge and loved that over-the-top cinematic experience. This is going to be very larger-than-life, over-the-top. And I mean, Jay-Z did the soundtrack. That doesn't mean Jay-Z's music's throughout the movie. That means that he coordinated with the director
I was gonna say,
and created the soundtrack for the film.
I was going to say hip hop wasn't really
No.
a big deal in the
No.
1920s.
No, but it's a very polished, very big production.
Buddy just sent me a text. He said they're adding a 10 p.m. upstairs as well.
Oh, so it's going to be upstairs
And there's 90
downstairs.
tickets and 20 are gone already.
Wow.
For the upstairs.
Now, can we
You
get
gotta
tickets
get 'em.
online? Can we buy tickets at the Marion Theater online?
I think you can go to Fandango and buy them.
Okay, so you could go to Fandango and get your tickets now if you don't want to
For
go
the
down
10
to the
o'clock
theater.
shows.
Yeah,
The 7 o'clock show,
gone, sold out.
gone.
Yeah.
But which is great for the Marion Theater.
Finally, we're getting into a decent
It's
season
summer.
in terms of
Blockbuster
the
time.
movies. I mean, Iron Man 3 really kicked it off, and now it's just going
As
to
the
be a
Avengers did last
steady.
summer.
Correct. Well, last summer it was actually Men in Black 3 kicked it off.
Which was a terrible movie.
Loved it. Great
Horrible.
film. Awesome. Best in the trilogy. Just saying. So
Avengers, however, great movie.
I'm sorry. I thought you said something. There was a buzzing in my ears.
Wonderful
Kind of
movie, The Avengers.
So we've got a whole stream now of really great films coming
And the
out.
Soto, Mr. and Mrs. Soto do a great job of
Oh.
getting those movies.
They do.
And thank God for Carmike, what they did for the theater and all
Got
while
it.
they were there.
Kept it going.
Kept it going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, you never knew what movie was coming.
No.
The Friends of Marion loved how the Sotos make sure you know what movies are coming well in advance. So events like this can be planned.
And they're actually part of our community.
Exactly.
Carmike was not.
No, they were
so
not. It's a company
that makes
out of
a
Georgia.
huge difference.
Right.
And, if money's tight, go to the Tuesday night movie. The Sotos are kind enough; they give free popcorn and a drink on Tuesday night.
Is that not a great deal?
I mean, come on.
You get free bag of popcorn and a drink on Tuesday night with your movie ticket purchase.
Correct.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And the one they own over here, they got like ladies' night for free.
See, and people forget while the Marion Theater is a great place, they also own the. What is it? 6 now?
Ocala 6. That's where we saw Django and Jane.
Yep. Another fabulous movie house, and the Sotos own that one too.
Yeah, which is really, they're significant investors in the movie business within our community. They're members of our community, and that really makes the difference.
And that's what they're a community-based business in this community.
Are you a Leo fan? Because you kind of liked him in Django. You said that converted you. You're a fan.
Growing Pains.
Let me tell you.
He was on Growing Pains?
Oh, my God. Like the last season.
Until
Seriously?
Yes.
Until Django Unchained, the only movie I liked Leo in was What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
He didn't really have to do much in that.
I liked him in that movie, but I didn't like him in Catch Me If You Can. I thought that was a terrible movie.
Titanic
was horrible. I used
Only
to call
one of the largest grossing films of all time.
Inception.
What about Inception? That was my favorite.
That was good.
I used to call him Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, I like Leo.
Well,
but Django changed me. The Candyman changed me.
Catch Me If You Can was awesome too.
Nothing to do about the Candyman.
I liked him in Inception, but he was just ramping up, had just signed on with Baz Luhrmann, the director of Moulin Rouge and Great Gatsby. He had signed on, Leo DiCaprio had signed on with Baz to do Alexander the Great, right when Oliver Stone came out with his.
Right.
So he scrapped.
And by the way, the
film.
the Oliver Stone version,
horrible. Not so great. Alexander, not so great.
But and I don't say that because I'm a history guy, because it was historically inaccurate, because it was.
Right.
But I do it because Oliver Stone. Remember, this same guy that directed Natural Born Killers. That's all I need to tell you. Okay.
But Baz
that made
hasn't.
The JFK assassination all about the gay community in New Orleans. That's all I'm going to tell you about how Oliver Stone is. Okay.
Baz has not had a film in 13 years.
Moulin Rouge was his last one.
That was his last significant film.
So
I don't think he's done anything since then. If he has, it's obscure.
He did the Romeo and Juliet sort of. Have you ever seen that, Lori?
Was DiCaprio
in it? It's Romeo and Juliet, but they make it like modern, but they use the same language from the book.
Who plays Juliet? Do you remember?
Claire Danes.
She's a great actress. I don't remember seeing it.
We actually watched it in high school.
It was a long time ago, though, right?
Because my dumb teacher got it thinking it was
Romeo and
Juliet. I'm like, this is
Although I love Claire Danes. She's in Homeland.
Really good. Yeah.
Very good show.
She's great. Another Yale graduate.
So, huge event at the Marion. Go out, even if you don't have a ticket to the movie on Friday at 7, come to the event. Huge block party. It's going to be a great time.
It should be fun.
I'll be in Jacksonville at the Players, at the barbecue dinner thrown by the commissioner of the PGA Tour, Tim Finchin.
How are you going to fit your head out of that door? That's what I want to know. When this show's over, how are you going to walk out that doorway?
Wait till you
Are they going to cut you a special exit?
Wait till you hear the second hour what Buddy has to tell you about what I'm doing. Wait till you hear that. They may have to cut the glass out and let me out that way. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Lori's going to tell us health food that can kill you?
11 health foods that can kill you.
11 double-digit health foods that can kill you. Good, so that means I can stop eating granola. All right, we'll hear about that next on Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living segment on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Renstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and a coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
It's been 500 years since Spanish explorers first set foot on Florida's shores, naming our beautiful state Florida because of the many varieties of colorful flowers the Spaniards could see. I want to tell you another piece of history that is actually not his story, but her story. It's about all of the moms in your life. You and I wouldn't have a history if it wasn't for her story. And with Mother's Day this Sunday, you'll be happy to know that Kenny's Place Nursery has knockout roses on sale. Get Mom a 1-gallon size for just $8 and a 3-gallon size for just $15. Celebrate Mother's Day and her story with the same thing that gave Florida her name, flowers. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful. It is true that the smartest listeners listen to the source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into the source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala on a Thursday Healthy Living segment. But before we go to Healthy Living, though, Janie Pope is calling in. She wants to tell us even more about the gala event happening Friday evening at the Marion Theater. Janie, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful. So the event is sold out, we're to understand.
Yes, I'm so excited. We sold out yesterday morning, actually.
Woohoo!
We heard now, though, that you can still come down and enjoy the block party, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, now that's always been free and open to the public. Obviously, there's limited seats to fit into the theater, so we had to sell the tickets for the movie itself in advance. And in order to get food from Cup of the Irish, you have to have purchased the movie ticket for the 7:45 show. But the block party itself is free and open to the public. We'll have the live jazz band right there on the corner by the theater, and we'll have the streets closed, and we'll have all the vintage cars. And I just got word today that we have a 1928 model coming in that we weren't expecting, so I'm really excited about that. And, the beer and wine will be available inside the Marion Theater, but anybody there that's enjoying the block party can certainly buy beer and wine and popcorn and other soda and water and enjoy it, not just inside the theater, but out. They can walk around with it and listen to music and look at all the old cars. And I would guess that probably 75% or more of the people there will be dressed up in Roaring Twenties attire. So it should be really exciting.
What a great event, Janie. This sounds like so much fun and very unusual. You know, how often do you get to dress out of the 20s?
Oh, I know. And I know the theater itself wasn't established until 1941, but just the idea itself that it's a historic theater, it's a very nostalgic atmosphere, and then you have The Great Gatsby, which is one of the greatest novels of all time, that's been modernized by Baz Luhrmann, and just the music soundtrack and the whole era is just dynamic. So it should be really great, and I'm really happy DeSoto's our theater owners, Carmen and Cesar, they agreed to open a 10 o'clock show for people who weren't able to get tickets for the actual premiere, so people can still come out and enjoy the block party and go have a drink or two or get some food downtown and then come back and catch the late show. So there are tickets for the 10 p.m.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to do exactly that and, get a chance to be on the square for a little while.
Janie, we heard Buddy Martin texted and said not only will there be a 10 o'clock show downstairs, but they're also going to put a 10 o'clock show in the balcony.
Well, I'm not sure. I thought that it was just going to be the 10 o'clock upstairs.
Oh, is it just upstairs?
Yeah, the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, so it will start at 10 o'clock upstairs. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so there's a 10 o'clock show upstairs that's going to happen. And, of course, I do want to take this opportunity, just because last time I didn't get a chance to say special thanks to Mark's Prime and Rusty's Studio Hair Color. They're the reason that we were able to do the marketing for this event and to put it on. And, of course, Cup of the Irish is donating all of the food. So we're really grateful.
Well, Janie, once again, you've done a great job pulling off this event, along with the help of the Friends of the Marion, the city of Ocala, Phil downtown. Just another reason why downtown Ocala is the place to be.
Yes, absolutely. We're trying to make sure everyone is aware of that. We know it, but we're just trying to plug it as much as possible. So please, everybody, come out tomorrow night.
I've never been downtown in my life here, Janie.
Yeah, right.
Wait, you burned those photographs, right?
Oh,
no.
Yeah, I do have some evidence that you've been downtown, Tom. You know me and my camera. I get around with
Janie Pope, whenever she's out and about, you could end up in a photograph.
Uh-oh.
Very true, very true.
She is. You're doing a great job down there, Janie. Tomorrow night,
Thanks.
all the best to festivities tomorrow night. Unfortunately, I'll be in Jacksonville, but that's probably great for everybody else's downtown that I won't be there.
Well, Lori will be there. She'll class up the place.
Well, Lori will be there.
You're so sweet to say that. Very kind.
Thank you guys for helping me promote it.
Thanks, Janie.
So there you go. Well, Lori, we got about 9 minutes. We said before we got started that there were 11 health foods that could kill you. Let me guess. Granola.
No, I don't know if granola by itself necessarily depends on what granola you're eating. Actually,
steel cut wheat oats, steel cut oats.
No.
Oh, so none of the health foods you ever talk about can kill you then.
No, most of the foods that I steer clear of are actually not on.
So what you're saying is
are on
what
this list, yes.
What is being the propaganda is being sold as health food.
There's a lot of misunderstanding about health food in general, about the organic label. And, it's hard enough to sort of navigate through food waters if you're a parent.
Right.
And if you want to feed your family healthy foods, it's very tricky. I had a conversation with the head of the meat department of one of the largest grocery store chains in Ocala. And in the state of Florida, and the Southeast in general?
Probably created in the state of Florida.
Probably. Can't say who they are, but they have a nice big green logo. Begins with the letter P.
And do great Thanksgiving commercials.
Yes.
And Mother's Day commercials.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
But when you go into their meat department, they have a giant sign that says the name of one of their brands of meat that you think is healthy, and it says organic and natural.
I know exactly the brand you're talking about.
Yes.
It's a very wise brand.
Right, and it has a color in the front of the wiseness.
Yeah, I understand.
But guess what? It's not organic.
What?
At all.
What do you mean? It says it is.
No, but the sign says that the sign says organic and natural, but it's over that section, which means if they have any meats that are organic, they put them in that section, but their actual color-wise brand is not organic. It's hormone and steroid free, But it's still not organic, which means there's other chemicals, there's other additives.
But it is hormone and steroid free,
Right.
which is better than which is better than some, but not as good as, like, say, our friends out on 27 that have their little, we can't mention them either, but you and I had lunch there one day out off 27.
Yes, exactly.
Who have strictly organic meat.
Well,
out
but
there.
they're not certified organic either. There's a difference between organic practices, which some producers of food, meats and vegetables and fruits will be organic practices, but they haven't gone through the 7 years of scrutiny to actually be labeled organic. And P.S., if you're a dairy farmer and you are certified organic, you're still allowed to inject your calves once in the life of the calf with a chemical made by Monsanto to help beef up the meat of the calf. And who do you think goes out and tracks which cattle have been injected and which one?
The farmer himself.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of a joke. So this was written up in the New York Times about a year ago that the whole label organic is really not trusted anymore. So that in itself is complicated enough.
So now let's get to the health foods that can kill me.
There are health foods that are good for you, but there are some health foods that you think are good for you that are not, and they can kill you.
Can I guess one? Because I bet I know one.
You can.
Gatorade and those kind of drinks that are supposed to put the sport back in you and you redo your salts and electrolytes
balancers.
and everything.
Yes, that's
They're
number 4.
You,
that is number 4 on the list. Right, that's sports drinks. Now they were
nothing beats water.
Nothing beats water. And there's actually 2 drinks on this list. One is fruit juices, and one is sport drinks.
Because fruit juices, you got to read carefully to make sure they're 100% fruit juice.
It's not.
Because it's the ones that are like 10% fruit juice and all
That's
bad
correct.
for you.
The labels are not all what they appear. There's often sugar added. There's often corn syrup added. They're just not what you. And they're still sugar. So when you give your children fruit juice, even if they're diluted, they're still sugar.
So
Nothing. And by the way, if you keep fruit juice in your refrigerator, what do you think your child's going to want?
Fruit juice.
Right. If you don't have it in the house, or if you keep it in the pantry for only when they're sick, like I do, then water is what they're used to, and that's all they drink.
So are you telling me then that 100% pure apple juice, no sugar added, is still not good for you?
I'm telling you that it's not something you should do every day because you're still loading your body.
Don't fill the sippy cup with it up every day.
No. I've seen children that actually their baby teeth have rotted out. Their front baby teeth have rotted because their parents put them to sleep with bottles of juice. You're still putting sugar in their bodies. So you want to really be mindful. So fruit juices, you have to be really careful. Eating too much sugar is associated with all sorts of diseases.
And sport drinks are loaded
obesity,
with sugar.
type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. It's much better just to avoid the fruit juices and eat real fruits instead. And this is my problem with juicing, okay? When you eat a piece of fruit, you're ingesting the fiber along with the fruit juice, which is where the sugar is.
Certainly.
When you juice, you're taking all that fiber out, and you're
and when
leaving.
you say the fiber, you mean like the white film, the white cover that when you peel the orange off an orange, there's still a white cover.
No, I'm talking
that's
about
the fiber.
or a carrot when the pulp that's left
Certainly.
over.
Right.
That's the fiber.
So if I get high pulp orange juice, pure natural orange juice, is that okay?
No, you should only drink orange juice that you squeeze yourself because it sits around and it ferments after it's squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's left the vine or left, closest to the vine, it starts to ferment and rot. It starts to disintegrate.
'Cause I like high pulp, so I'm okay with it.
But you should just squeeze your own and drink it right there. And
all
then.
right, there
That's
you
the
go.
best. But remember when you squeeze juices out of fruits or vegetables, when you extract out, you separate the fiber from the juice, you are drinking concentrated sugar. When you eat a piece of fruit, that fiber time releases the sugar in your body. So it doesn't all hit your system at once. It's time released as you're digesting that fruit. That's what the fiber provides.
So it gives your pancreas a break. It doesn't
hit your pancreas like an overload when you drink just the juice. So that's a concern. So those are 2 things on the 11.
Let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll run through the other 9. You're listening to Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living segment on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family first club. Again, we
We have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Kim Catola. She's a broadcast journalist and the host and executive producer of Cradle My Heart Radio. She's coming out to speak to us about her book, about her radio show, and how to find God's love after an abortion.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Brad Boersma and Josh Verdonk will be on with their show, Winging It, telling you what it takes to become a pilot from Ocala Aviation Flight School.
Diane I. Maroney is the founder of the Imagine Project. She helps families with premature infants deal with the traumatic effects of early birth. She's written a book called The Imagine Project.
And then it's Ocala Magazine Radio with your host, John Sotomayor, the executive editor of Ocala Magazine.
J.D. Messenger is a senior advisor to the Singapore Prime Minister. He's written a book called 11 Days in May, the conversation that will change your life.
And then Rabbi Yossi Hecht will be joining us. He is the rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County, coming on to speak to us about the great event at Sinai. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Don't ever miss a single edition of the Mike Huckabee Show. We're going to have a whole lot of fun talking the big issues of the day. We'll talk to the newsmakers and the issues that made them a newsmaker, as well as we'll bring you some entertainment, some fun. You never know what's going to happen on the Mike Huckabee Show. Don't miss it.
Join Mike Huckabee every weekday from noon to 3 exclusively on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Larry, nice haircut.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Looks like you had something different done, too.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing. I went to Lupe at Merle Norman on the Boulevard for a fresh cut, some summer highlights, and a facial.
No kidding. That's who I go to. I didn't know she did all that.
She does coloring, waxing, styling, updos, microderms, and she does it all for prices that won't break the bank.
Sounds like you can take the whole family there.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Hi, this is Lupe. Let me be your personal stylist. To set up your appointment, call me today, 426-1229.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala, wrapping up the first hour with Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living segment. We got through 2 health foods that could kill you, fruit juices and health drinks. Now, for time's sake, I'm just going to get out of your way and let you go.
Real quick. Okay, so number 1 was fruit juices. Orange juice, for example, has the same amount of sugar as Coca-Cola. And that's because there's no fiber to help time release it. Just stay away from fruit juices. It's not good for you. By the way, if you're driving or you want to look at this list yourself, you can go to my blog, LoriGregory.com. I got this off of honeycolony.com. Just go to LoriGregory.com, and I have it posted there, and subscribe while you're there. The second item is whole wheat. Wheat in general is horrible. Get Wheat Belly. It's an amazing book. It will change your life. There is no form of wheat that's really good for you, and if you cut it out of your diet, you'll see incredible changes in your immune system and your health in general. Agave nectar is number 3. This is a sweetener that's touted as a healthy alternative to sugar because it's natural and it has a low glycemic index. The problem is that it's very high in fructose, and fructose can cause all sorts of problems in your system, so you just have to be really careful. I use it sometimes to cook raw vegan desserts. I'm eating raw vegan desserts, so if I have a little agave, it's really not a problem. But in general, don't use it to sweeten drinks. It's just too high in fructose, which turns into fat. Number 4 is sports drinks. We've covered this. I get so disappointed when I see little kids come off the soccer field and they drink blue chemical drinks or green chemical drinks. Now, I know that the intention is good to rehydrate, but go online, go to Amazon.com, order yourself some Recharge juice. It is basic fruit juice that will replenish electrolytes, or just water. Water is just fine. It will replenish lost fluids, and you don't have to worry about that. Number 5, heart-healthy vegetable oils. Not so much. They have low flash points. They're not good for you. So use only water to cook and then season with your favorite oil, but stay away from things like cottonseed oil. Canola oil is not good for you. Soybean oil, corn oil, not good. Don't cook with those. Low-fat or fat-free foods. It's not the fat. It's the anti-fat message that people are getting you with. And the problem is that most of the foods that are anti-fat is loaded with all sorts of chemicals, artificial sweeteners, and massive amounts of sugar. So it might say low fat, but look at the sugar content, look at the sodium content. You're going to be very disappointed. Stay away from processed foods in general. Number 7, gluten-free foods. This is the big trend. Everybody wants to go wheat-free, gluten-free. The problem is that products that offer gluten-free products do so by substituting with things like potato starch, tapioca starch, which are highly refined, they're void of nutrients, and they will spike your blood sugar. It's not good for you. Be very careful with gluten-free foods. Just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's healthy. Number 8, margarine and fake butters. The best butter you can eat is all natural, nutrient-dense, raw milk butter. You can get it from farms nearby like Full Circle Farms. It has healthy fats. There's a big difference between healthy fats and unhealthy fats. Margarine and fake butters do not have any healthy fat value at all. Take them out of your diet. Number 9, energy bars. Same as sports drinks. It has nothing in there that offers a nutritious value, and it's all processed. It's nothing that's going to help you. That is number 9. Number 10 is low-carb junk foods. Even though something is low in carbs and sugar, it can still be very unhealthy. Great examples are low-carb Atkins bars. They're highly processed products that nobody should be eating. Check out the ingredients list. This is not food. If you're going to go to a low-carb diet, stick to real unprocessed foods. Number 11 is healthy, quote-unquote, breakfast cereals. Most highly processed breakfast cereals are not healthy. In fact, they are among the worst foods you can eat. They're often loaded with sugar and refined carbohydrates. Then the manufacturers will fortify them with some sort of synthetic vitamins and put tiny amounts of whole grains in the mix and market it as healthy. Do not be fooled by these labels. Low fat, fat-free, whole grain, etc. Look at the ingredients list. You'll see that these kinds of products are loaded with sugar. And if you want a great breakfast bowl, go to therawtarian.com, look up her free recipe index, go under breakfast bowls. You can take a cut-up apple, you can put almonds, you can put flaxseed, you can put coconut, unsweetened coconut, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, a little almond milk, delish, cinnamon. You're good to go.
Lori Martin Gregory, every week you give me something else that I have to go try just to see if it tastes good. Lori's Healthy Living every Thursday.
LoriGregory.com. Go check it out.
LoriGregory.com. Go check it out. Coming up in the second hour, Buddy Martin joins the fray. And in the third hour, boy, there was some basketball retribution last night. Chicago Bulls might not have wanted to wake the sleeping giant. We'll talk about it all next on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make...
Marshall Bank approval. Vehicle purchase across the fixed rate allowance.
Mayday! Mayday! Our buyer blew it. He ordered 38 cars instead of 8. And now we have got way too much inventory.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I've got to sell these 30 cars extra fast. I'm going spastic, so I've got to do something drastic.
Qualified buyers with $5 down can drive a nicer, newer car today. Who knew $5 could get you a nicer, newer car?
Well, it can, because I'm in a jam.
Is bad credit causing you distress? My For the People credit approval process just may save the day. Get approved for a nicer, newer car you'll love. Mayday! Mayday! Get down to Prestige Auto Sales right away. The Mayday Madness ends after we've cleared 37 cars.
My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Everything's coming up roses just in time for Mother's Day at the all-new Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Bob has gorgeous double knockout roses, just $19.99. Knockout tree roses, only $59.99. Also drift roses, hybrid tea roses, and drift rose trees. If your mom likes gorgeously blooming roses that'll last and last, then you've got to get over to Bob Wine's this week. Look around for their fabulous buy one, get one free offers on blooming plants, too. Cape daisies, kalanchoe, geraniums, all buy one, get one free this week. Special selection of citrus trees, some budded and blooming, marked down to $39.99. And buy one, get one on a big red maple tree, delivered and planted in your yard, just $2.49. Come and see all the exciting things happening right now at Bob Wine's, like new hanging basket displays, camellias as far as you can see, and bargains galore. It's this week at the all-new Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. If you've not been there lately, you've not been.
It's been 500 years since Spanish explorers first set foot on Florida's shores, naming our beautiful state Florida because of the many varieties of colorful flowers the Spaniards could see. I want to tell you another piece of history that is actually not his story, but her story. It's about all of the moms in your life. You and I wouldn't have a history if it wasn't for her story. And with Mother's Day this Sunday, you'll be happy to know that Kenny's Place Nursery has knockout roses on sale. Get Mom a 1-gallon size for just $8 and a 3-gallon size for just $15. Celebrate Mother's Day and her story with the same thing that gave Florida her name, flowers. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprantz. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
The
WOCA.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Show some respect. That's the message an angry mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, is giving his police department. Frank Jackson says they're leaking details about the case of 3 women who were kidnapped for almost a decade until this week. He says the victims and their families deserve some privacy. You may be able to prevent Parkinson's disease with a trip to the produce stand. A University of Washington study found people who eat a diet rich in green, yellow, and red peppers and tomatoes were less likely to develop the condition. The class of 2031 could have a lot of Jacobs and Sophias. They top the Social Security's annual list of the most popular baby names. It's Jacob's 14th year in the #1 spot and the second for Sophia. This is ABC News.
Introducing a faster way to push-to-talk. AT&T Enhanced Push-to-Talk. AT&T delivers more of what your business needs. Instant communication, up to 1,000 contacts, plus a broad array of devices and platforms. Visit att.com/enhancedptt3 to get your business started with a free Samsung Rugby 3. You push-to-talk, we pushed it further. AT&T, rethink possible.
Limited time offer. Free phone on new activations only. Requires 2-year commitment to eligible voice and data plans plus activation of AT&T Enhanced Push-to-Talk service.
You wanted it, you got it. Big Easy Click deals are back at Lumber Liquidators Easy Click Flooring Sale. Save up to 48% versus comparable floors at big box stores. Get big coupon savings and save up to 33% off our best laminates. Up to 22% off Easy Click hardwood. Up to 26% off Easy Click vinyl wood plank. Plus special financing. Easy to install, easy to finance, easy to save. It just clicks. Easy Click Flooring Sale is going on now, so get to lumberliquidators.com or your local store today.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry. We didn't leave you.
He's gone. He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Welcome now to the program. Good to be with you. Thanks to Tom, Laurie, JJ, and Alexander for hosting. I heard Alexander in the background hosting the show. Interesting stuff there, talking about health food and entertainment and great news. I'm glad Jenny Pope, I was able to get a hold of her to call you guys because a lot of interesting things happening tomorrow night. If you haven't heard about it, Jenny clarified that. We'll repeat. It is a sellout for the Great Gatsby Extravaganza, but the Sotos have opened up a 10 o'clock show, and I'll tell you more about that. There's a good reason for doing it. Also today, there's a story that really touched my heart today, and it just broke on ocala.com, and it's about the school board and about an appeal for somebody I consider to be a great Ocalan. I don't use that word about many people. Very few. This man is a great Ocalan and somebody who deserves to be recognized for all he's done for this community, especially at a difficult time in our community. And he only served 4 years in this capacity, but had a great, long-lasting legacy. And I think it's time for him to be recognized. And that's Mac Dunwoody. And I love the story on ocala.com. I want to talk about that and tell you all about why that's so important. Also on the program today, I've got three things, and I'll tell you about a couple of items on my agenda, including one of those obnoxious commercials on TV that's starting to really tick me off. And we'll talk a little more about the Chris Spears. I'm going to get Chris Spears in trouble yet. Chris Blair story in yesterday's paper and this morning's paper, yesterday'socala.com. Give you a little insights, some reaction from other people, and catch up on that. And also, interesting story: the death of the PC. That's what they're saying in Business Week. That looking down the road, it could be over for the PC. Then we'll talk about most popular names. Yes, another list from 2012 for boys and girls. I call it my most popular vanilla names. But let me say this. in this control room, it'll be a very popular list. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? A very popular list. I can guarantee you that. So, I'm Buddy Martin. The program is called The Voice of Ocala. Laurie and Tom carries your first hour. You guys had a good little discussion going there, Tom, about the movies and what's happening tomorrow night. And I didn't get that entire list of what foods are killing. I heard a couple. I was surprised that Gatorade was on there.
Well, Gatorade's a chemical-based putting electrolytes and all back into you, and it's
and you correctly guessed that too, by the way.
Well, it's been said for years that it and Powerade aren't good for you.
Mm-hmm. It's working for Tiger. Good shot right there.
Yeah.
Tiger's 1 under, by the way.
Yeah, and we're going to update here. By the way, keep us going. Everybody tears it up today. Tom, you have a guy there that you said had a good score.
Yeah, but Yahoo has it wrong. Okay. They Castro is leading it with a 63, but they had Matt Kuchar at 63 too, and Matt Kuchar's still on the course 1 under. So
yeah. By the way, Castro, not a real popular name these days.
No,
especially in Cleveland.
Right.
So this difference
never really was that popular.
Well, it was to certain Cubans, and some Cubans, some not. So
your good friend Dan Jenkins, who Twitter is made for, you've said numerous times.
He would be. I guarantee you, I'd read every single tweet of his.
We'll talk about it in the Sports Hour, but he said that Dean Beeman's word after player complaints years ago at Sawgrass, and that's who, Dean Beeman was
commissioner.
He said they'll learn to play it. Dan Jenkins says, based on today, they've learned to kill it.
Yeah. Insane scores.
Yeah. Well, of course, the conditions are for scoring right now. So that's one of those courts that's very giving whenever the conditions are right, and not so much, just like St. Andrews. But no wind in St. Andrews, you can kill it. If you got wind, you got a problem.
Now, you want me to tell you how the Cuyahoga County prosecutor, Tim McGlinty, that's the where Cleveland is located in Ohio.
Yeah.
He's taken this kidnapping and rape so serious.
Yeah.
He's considering the death penalty.
I didn't even know that was a death penalty case.
I heard that, and I heard people talking about that. That's a very popular sentiment. I'm not a death penalty guy, but if I were, I am in some cases, rare cases, but if I was, I'd certainly consider this. This is a heinous crime. He robbed 3 women of their lives, basically, is what he did.
He certainly,
but the law won't support it.
One is still in the hospital. She's physically okay. Mentally, though, they say she's not together, and so they won't even let her parents see her right now.
I can understand the outrage, and I guarantee you, if as much as I hate the violence, if I had to be the executioner on that one, I'd probably be able to pull the trigger on it. So,
you saw they found suicide letters.
I didn't see that yet.
Dated from 2004, and it's basically him admitting to everything. And they found it in his house. He'd just been there.
I don't think there's a problem with having witnesses.
No, but it's a very eerie letter.
It's an eerie situation. It's so much evil that surrounds it.
It's scary, man.
It's got people horrified, and it won't go away. And as we learn more and more details, I read one account. You got to be careful what you read because some people got this half-baked opinions and half the facts. But one particular article did indicate they're looking to see, as I said yesterday, if there was a 4th victim. And there's some indications that. And this doesn't come from a police report, so I don't know if it's true.
One of the girls
R.I.P., and a name and whatever. So we don't know anymore.
And one of the girls did say when she arrived there in 2002, there was someone else, and she disappeared.
Well, she could have left, run away, whatever. Anyway, the point is, we're doing what CNN got in trouble for, which is speculating. We don't really know, but
Jon Stewart can't make fun of us, so straight.
He can.
He sure does that with CNN.
He certainly can do that for sure. No, we're fair game, right? For sure. So, hey, guess what? You guys think the electric car is dead? Well, maybe not. There's some news about that. And guess what? When you go big time, you really go big time. You go big time when you get to introduce the governor and hobnob with the big shot Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who ever gets that opportunity should be officially ordained as a big time person.
No, I don't.
So does that mean no longer can I be called kind of a big deal?
No, you can be the big deal now.
This Saturday, Marion County Republican Executive Committee, it's the Lincoln Reagan annual Lincoln Reagan dinner.
Yeah, at the Hilton and
the Hilton. We're going to have Governor Scott will be there. Jeff Atwater, CFO.
You can't say we're going to have. Well, they're going to have. You're going to be there.
I'm going to be right.
Yeah,
I'm going to MC the event.
Yeah, that's what you are. And that's great.
Jeff Atwater, CFO, will be there along with Governor Scott. I saw today that. I'll get to see our friend Kirk Kelly. He'll be there.
Mm-hmm. He hadn't showed around his parts recently.
Committeeman.
Ask him if he lost our number while you're there,
because
he was willing to come on before the election, and he's been hard to get hold of since.
Stan McLean's going to do the invocation. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a great event out there at the Ocala Hilton in the ballroom. And, by the way, there's food involved, so I'm okay with that, too.
Okay, well, you're carrying our colors out there, so congratulations for that. And they made a good choice. I tell you do a great job.
Yeah, don't screw up.
Yeah, don't screw up.
Well, if I do, I'm blaming it on Buddy.
Yeah, sure. Well, by the way, I'll get some of it, because whatever they can do to blame me, they do. So
Found out today, though, a good friend, Brad Rogers, will be at the event.
Good. Well, he's a newspaper man.
He's a Republican.
He needs to be. Well, he's
officially.
Officially.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I'm glad he's there. I'm not a big party mogul. I'm not like all
you
about
don't rub shoulders at parties.
Really,
yes, you do, buddy.
What?
You are a party guy.
I'm not. No. Political party.
Yeah.
Political party guy.
Yeah. JD here's party.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is sort of a party.
Yeah, I'm not a big partisan guy.
Okay.
On one party or the other. I would never be a guy to work in either party.
Right.
And maybe even the independent party, but I mean maybe because I don't like agendas that much. I'd like to be able to hopefully judge for myself based on what I think. I understand the importance of having them because you have to get people elected. If you don't have an organization, you're not going to get them elected.
Right.
And I wish them all the best. I just hope we continue this dialogue between parties, which we desperately need more of at a national level and probably could use a little bit at the local level too. So there you go. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. I'm going to tell you all about why I 1,000% agree with a man named Ed Anderson who wants to name a school after somebody who certainly deserves it. I'll tell you all about that next, right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Rinstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Rinstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Rinstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Rinstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. Rinstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Rinstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Rinstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Kim Katola. She's a broadcast journalist and the host and executive producer of Cradle My Heart Radio. She's coming out to speak to us about her book, about her radio show, and how to find God's love after an abortion.
Open for debate where you get to choose the topic.
And then Brad Borisma and Josh Verdunk will be on with their show, Winging It, telling you what it takes to become a pilot from Ocala Aviation Flight School.
Diane I. Maroney is the founder of the Imagine Project. She helps families with premature infants deal with the traumatic effects of early birth. She's written a book called The Imagine Project.
And then it's Ocala Magazine Radio with your host, John Sotomayor, the executive editor of Ocala Magazine.
J.D. Messenger is a senior advisor to the Singapore Prime Minister. He's written a book called 11 Days in May, the conversation that will change your life.
And then Rabbi Yossi Hecht will be joining us. He's the rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County, coming on to speak to us about the great event at Sinai. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. A nice day today with plenty of sunshine and a warm afternoon, a high of 83 to 87. Fair skies tonight, those ranging from 61 inland to 67 along the coast. Mostly sunny and very warm tomorrow, high 86 to 90. For Saturday, sunshine mixing with clouds and very warm with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon, the high 84 in the coastal areas to about 90 across the interior. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios of this news break brought to you by Renstar Medical Research. A fight over ranch dressing Wednesday landed one twin sister in the hospital with non-life-threatening wounds and the other in juvenile lockup charged with aggravated battery. The Ocala police officer responded to the incident. She found one of the 17-year-old twins sitting on the sidewalk holding her head and bleeding. The girl said she and her sister were arguing because she had eaten ranch dressing. Her twin then threw a plate at her, stabbed her with a fork, and chased her down the road. The injured girl was taken to Monroe Regional Medical Center for treatment. The other sister was arrested and became belligerent as she was being taken to jail. This news break was brought to you by Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Call 352-629-5800 for more information.
I got to tell you, that fight was not over ranch dressing, okay? There's a lot more of that than that.
That's over having a twin for 17 years.
Yeah, that's not over ranch
You don't think ranch dressing had anything to do with it?
That was just, the straw that broke the camel's
back. That was just a dressing is all that was. Coming up just a minute to tell you about great Ocala who deserves to have the rules broken if necessary to get recognition, and I love this story. Also, my three things today, about three things. And here's one about what's happening today in couples. Dr. Buddy should attack this one. What's next? Recycling your wedding dress for something or reusing something you use when you propose to a woman. I guess it's probably being resourceful, but I'll tell you all about a husband who sort of double dips on that, trying to get a little more bang for his buck, so to speak, and what he tried to do. Also, is this the death of the PC? Well, some people think so. Business Week talks about that. But right now, I want to tell you about a story that's very close to my heart. I'm going to say up front that Mac Dunwoody is a good friend of mine. And he's a special person in many ways. Mac, during the time of the sickness of a very close friend of mine, Augie Griner, for years, Mac was always there with Augie doing things for him all the time. Taking him for places and dropping them off and coming by the scene. Great servant's heart. He and Anna both. And he was, people might not know, he was superintendent for 4 years, superintendent of education here. But he also had a great background in recreation sports. Not my generation, but the one after me would know, they all know who Mac Dunwoody was because he worked at the recreation department with a bunch of legendary people, including when Augie worked there. Howard Robarker was there, Jervy Gant. These are great household names of people who were there in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And he was a dedicated coach, and he supported the youth in so many ways. And then later on, he went into banking and did various things. But Mac's just a good person. Mac has terminal cancer right now. He just watched his friend Augie go through this. And, you know, he and Anna are doing pretty good with this, for as best as you can, trying to live each day to get the most out of it while he's there. But today, I read this story, and I'm going to give full credit to the Ocala Star Banner, ocala.com, for the story where I read about it. The school board has a policy against naming schools after people. And I understand that, because everybody wants to have a school. I'd like to have Buddy Martin Elementary, too, you know. But Ed Anderson, who's a long-standing member of this community and an upstanding person and a dear friend of Mac's, he went on before the board last night and literally begged them to waive this rule. And he talked about how important it was, never mind naming something Legacy Elementary, which is the name of the new school, but, you know, how about naming it after a person? And he thought at first he'd push for the Legacy Elementary. He realized it doesn't matter which school it is. It doesn't matter. Because Mac's background, in 1968, he was appointed the superintendent by the governor, Claude Kirk, because he had the task nobody wanted, to usher in desegregation. You can't imagine what it's like in his town when he had to do that. That was not a very popular time.
No.
As the Star Banner says, it was a very contentious time. They had to set new boundaries to ensure the balance and racial balance in the two schools. Mac had the idea of changing the names of the high school. And by the way, one of them was my high school. Ocala High and Howard High. To change that. And became Vanguard and Forest, because there would not be a distinct line drawn in the sand over black and white. He did that, and as the story says, he lost many friends because he was doing something right. So he lasted 4 years, and he served us well in this community, aside from his background as a coach in the youth. And he's gone on to be an upstanding member of, he's always involved, he and Anna, in all things all over the town, doing good for people, helping out. So Ed Anderson says, I am asking you to change the rules. Make one exception for Mac Dunwoody. He is a hero. He was committed to the mission of integration when so many people were not happy about it. And one of the people who spoke up on his behalf was Bobby James. You know Bobby James. We had his brother on this show.
Yes.
Bobby, of course, is a retired Dunellen High School principal, black educator during this desegregation. He was on the other, he saw the other ugly side of it. He said he knows what kind of pressure Dunwoody was in back in those days. He talks about his mother, Bobby said, she was a teacher at Howard High. It was all black. First woman elected to the school board, black woman. And he talks about what a terrific influence Mac was. So Dunwoody was reached at home, and he said, whether they go for it or not, I am truly honored. And that's just the kind of guy Mac is. So God bless you, Ed Anderson. That's a great idea. I'm all for it. I think if we're going to make an exception, we have to treasure the people in this town who made us who we are, who took unpopular stands, who had the greater good for everybody in mind. And we need to champion those people and make them icons for our people to remember. And if ever anybody deserved it, it's Mac Dunwoody.
I mean, obviously, that's the biggest situation that the Marion County School Board's ever been through.
Without question.
He took them through that.
I know other people in this town who had to go deal with that situation as well. Who was the chief of police, and Jim Kirk was mayor later on. All of them. That was a tough time. Because you got to remember,
imagine that.
It was a race. Segregation was in the culture. It's part of what Ocala was then.
Right.
Let's be honest about it. You know, it's what some of us grew up with.
It's what the entire country was.
We kind of thought it might be wrong, you know, but we didn't really know. We were ignorant about it. To be honest, we were ignorant, you know. Now, it doesn't mean we didn't have black friends or, you know, whatever, but the fact is there was a barrier for black people in this town. And until that barrier was lifted, they had no opportunity. And many people feel like we are still racially segregated in this town. I guess that will be for a long time, if maybe forever. I do know it's a lot better. I don't know if it's good enough. I'm not black. I can't tell you that. But when you have someone who basically cost himself a lot by going on the line with it, we talk about Jackie Robinson, what Jackie did in a big stage, in a big way. Mac done what he did on a small way, on a small stage. But
when you're willing to lose people that are very, very close to you for something that you believe in, that takes cojones.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that, and I just I cheer for Ed Anderson for having the heart and the guts to stand up and say that, and I wish Mac and Anna all the best. Mac, he just celebrated his 80th birthday over in Crescent Beach. So Mac, I love you. I'll be by to see you soon.
I went to Ward Highlands Elementary. I always just assumed that was named after somebody.
Ward High, might have been Bob Ward. I don't know. He was a teacher, a very good one. I know Bob. But there are things that get named after people. I'm not sure, but apparently there's some beginning a way of doing that. I don't know what I don't know what the rule.
Obviously,
we'll have to ask George Thomas.
In Jacksonville, where I'm from, it was completely different.
Yes.
Andrew Jackson High School, Kirby Smith Junior High, Ed White High School.
Yeah.
It's named after that's an astronaut and two Civil War generals.
And I kind of
Robert
like,
E. Lee.
And I kind of like that in a way.
Me too.
But we need to call George Thomas and get somebody over there to explain to us, so we know that we're not ignorant about the rule. So we know. I just know there's some barrier that precludes that. But I salute and I pray that the school board will listen to this article that's written in today's Star Banner. I wish I had the name of the person who wrote it. I want to give them full credit for it. So, and to all other people make it happen. So anyway, so that's my thought for today on that. Okay.
Joe Callahan, by the way.
Thanks. Thank you. It was Joe Callahan. Good job by Joe Callahan. Got to give the writers a little bit of a prop once in a while. They work hard on these stories.
You think writers work hard, do you?
Let me ask you.
You act like you got experience.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's hard?
It's the most difficult thing I've done in my adult career.
No, it's harder for some.
Because, like you said, there are times when you'll sit there and you'll read a sentence and you'll say, "It sounds juvenile. How can I re-say that? How can I write that to say what that sentence says without it sounding juvenile?" And you'll sit there and stare at it for 10, 15 minutes trying to come up with ways to do that.
Sometimes it's just a word. It takes 10 minutes on one word if you really. Now, granted, there's news stories you knock out and there's things you bleed over. But somebody asked Red Smith one time, the great Red Smith, "How do you write?" He said, "It's easy. Just open up a vein."
Exactly.
So, anyway, that's what's happening. You guys hear about this electric car?
The Tesla?
Yeah.
Of course. I know exactly what a Tesla. You talking about the Model 8 Tesla?
Model S.
Model S? I thought it was Model 8.
Model S.
But can it only go like 160 miles before you got to plug it back in or something?
I think you're right. But let me just say, if you're going to trust somebody's judgment on how that works, where do you think you go to ask somebody about how effective this car is?
J.D. Power or Consumer Reports, one or the other.
Well, J.D. Power all J.D. Power does is just salute the companies that do that. But the companies that really do it, company is Consumer Reports.
Oh, yeah. Consumer Reports put that magazine out every year.
How about this? The Tesla Model S high-end electric sedan has garnered a rare honor from Consumer Reports.
Uh-oh.
It gave the Model S its highest score, 99 out of 100. In the past, the Lexus LS also achieved a score of 99. But so, of course, the Tesla has a limited history to talk about, but it has the so-called coveted recommended buy rating. So I don't know a whole lot about it other than that, but apparently it's a pretty good car, and it says the business started ramping up toward the end of the year, and the operator, the guy who builds them, is in Palo Alto, California.
How much does it cost, though?
I don't know. You'll have to. I didn't go that deep into it. You'll have to Google that. We'll find out. But apparently, when they say it's pretty good, it's pretty good, and so I take their word for that kind of thing. All right, we have this variety of lists on names. I'm a little confused sometimes. It's like these stories about coffee. You keep hearing these stories about coffee, and you just read that it extends your life. It's great for you. It helps all these things. And then you get one that says, well, it's not good for you. So it's kind of confusing. Let's pick a list of popular names. We've done, 3 of these so far, different names. Apparently this is from the Social Security based on what they've gotten on registered names. The most popular boys and girls names for 2012. Coming up next. We'll see how many of you guys can guess. And they're pretty common names, okay?
By the way, Tesla Model S It'll go about 200 miles before you have to charge it again.
Has no fuel at all?
Nope, no fuel, and it cost about $90,000.
So it's not a hybrid, and it costs $90,000?
About $90,000.
I'll be getting two of them.
Okay,
there you go. So that'll get me 400 miles that way. Okay, we'll tell you about the names and what they are next, right here on the Voice of Ocala. Also coming up in the Sports Hour. You know the story in the picture about last night, the woman flipping off? Joakim Noah? Wait till you hear about who she is. It's going to be, whoa, my goodness.
The whole time I was thinking about her was, this morning was, when she's plastered all over the internet, damn, I've done that at football games, and I'll never do it again.
How ugly is that?
Yeah,
man?
I'll never be plastered.
Well, what do you hear about her
national
background?
TV.
I mean, this is really.
I know she's got cash because those seats are
but
serious.
there's more than that, JJ. More than that. Okay.
She looked like a fool, though.
Pretty sure. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. More to come your way right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source. The AP is reporting that 2 explosions at the finish line at a Boston Marathon.
There's 3 people confirmed dead at Boston Marathon.
Multiple people injured.
Explosion at the Boston Marathon.
Report of another possible device at the Mandarin.
Our 6 reported injured, no death. Workers felt the blast all the way over from Newburyport Street.
The Voice of Ocala, your eyes and ears when it really counts. Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports. From NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
The sound of the bat cracking, the crowd cheering, the smell of overpriced but tasty hot dogs, the memories that will last a lifetime of your first baseball game with little Johnny. Your team wins. It was a great night until you get home. It's 9 p.m. and your wife says you have no water.
We have no water.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Rule number 1, don't panic. Remain calm. Okay, that's 2 rules.
We don't have time for jokes, funny man.
Okay, think back. On the way home, you heard a radio commercial.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Eureka. You saved the day. You remembered that Mike Scott Plumbing doesn't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. You are a genius.
Hey, Mr. Genius, did you remember the phone number?
Of course you did. Remember, you're a genius. 352-237-2888. Because at Mike Scott Plumbing, if water runs through it, we do it. Even if water's not running through it at this particular moment. Mike Scott Plumbing.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Up to 20% of the brain's cerebral cortex consists of the same fatty acids found in fish, like salmon, tuna, and sardines. The number of ER visits due to caffeine overdoses, they've skyrocketed in the past decade. A growing number of victims are teenagers who consume so many energy drinks. People who are around animals every day, they feel healthier. They're also, get this, 21% less likely to develop colds and flu.
On the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
He knows I'm gonna stay.
All right, like I said, there's lists and there's lists and there's lists and there's lists, and we happen to have almost every 3 or 4 months a new list of names, most popular names of children. Now, depending on where you are and who you hang with, you hear different names a lot, you know? And I don't know which ones you guys hear a lot, but I mean, to me, most of them are not what you call average everyday names.
No.
They're a little bit, just a little bit different, okay? But this is a list.
Especially the lists about the new baby names.
Well, these
They're
are all
absurd.
well, this is the names of babies born. This is, I guess, a collection of the most popular names, or as I say, the most popular vanilla names from the Social Security. And I'm a little bit surprised by it, but let's just see. Out of the top 10 boys' names.
Well, you said that somebody in the control room here would be happy, so I'm going with Thomas.
You're going with Thomas. Okay.
John.
John? Should I go with Buddy?
Wilton, right?
All right. Ding, ding, ding. Both those names are on the list. The number 1 name is
Thomas.
John.
Oh,
Nice.
dear
Of
goodness.
course it is.
John J. LaSalva.
That's the number
And
one.
LaSalva's the most popular second name.
Surname
Now-
LaSalva.
Now, I don't know about you. I think John's a nice name. I don't know if it would be number 1 on my list, but it's a nice name, you know. Thomas is okay. My mother actually once named me before I was born Ronald Thomas Martin. That was one of the names she looked at. So Ronald Thomas, but that didn't work. So she was going to call me that, and she decided otherwise. Now, what you get to where we're going here, right? So what are the names would you think would be on this list?
Mark.
Not on the list.
Robert.
Yes, number 10.
William.
Yes, number 2.
James.
Number 3.
Josh.
Not on the list.
Frank.
On the list, number 6.
Jeff.
Not on the list.
Tim.
Not on the list.
I'm just going through all my
That's
friends.
good, though. You guys are doing good. You guys got like 6 of them already.
Sam. No, Sam's not on there.
Matthew.
What did you say, Tom?
Matthew.
Not on the list.
Matthew, Mark, Luke.
John, we got John.
Leviticus.
Jesus? No. No. You got what you get? You got John. You got
Paul.
No.
Paul's not on the list?
No.
We got William.
You got
James.
William and John. 1 is John. 2 is William. 3 is James. You got,
those 3. We got
you don't have
Thomas.
4 or 5. You have 6. Frank.
Robert.
I said that.
He said it already.
Oh.
It's number 10.
Okay, yeah.
So, and you said Thomas, and you had that right. So we got about 5 to go here, and just think everyday common names. Fred, not on the list, but
Jack,
not on the list. You'd think that'd be, but not.
Well, yeah.
I'll give you guys 2 more guesses.
Common names, huh?
Yeah, I mean these are names that you would see.
Steve.
You all know, not on the list. All right, I'm gonna give you some names. You want to try one more time?
Steve's not on the list.
Brett.
Not on the list.
That's-
Okay. So you got John, you got William, you got James. Do not get Charles.
Charles, yeah.
You not get George.
Oh, I forgot about George.
Jorge.
You got Frank. Did you get Joseph?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay, you got
No,
that.
I said Joe.
He
but-
said Joe.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. All right. And then the only one you didn't get that was Henry. So you got 6 out of 10.
Henry.
Henry.
It's pretty good, yeah. I wouldn't know. So those
Henry's
are
sort of an older name. I don't really
well,
know
all
that
these are
name.
older names. I mean, they're just common everyday names, you know. Now, girls' names.
Oh.
The same kind of thing, a little bit different, but not much.
Brittany.
Sort of. No, that would be a fancy name by the comparison. Well, I mean, by the tenor of this list.
Okay. Jean.
That'd be a good guess, not on the list.
Rebecca.
Love the name my daughter that, not on the list.
Laura.
Not on the list.
Brianna.
Not on the list.
Deborah.
Not on the list.
Mary.
Mary should have been on the name list and is on the list and is number one.
Okay. Yeah.
Allison.
Allison's not on the list.
Alice is not bad.
Alice is on the list, number 8.
Amanda.
Amanda is not on the list.
So Mary, Alice. Thinking about common name. June.
June not on the list.
That was a very common name at one time. Jean isn't on the list.
Jean not on the list. That would be good.
Jane.
Jane is not on the list.
Jane is not on the list?
No,
Samantha.
Samantha not on the list. These are pretty much
Linda.
Not on the list.
Linda not on the list.
My mother's name is on this list. You guys remember what I said my mother's name was? You don't remember?
No.
Margaret.
Margaret
on the list, okay?
See, the girls are tougher.
Well, I mean, it's because you think...
Cindy.
Not on the list. You ready? I'll give you 2 more chances.
Cynthia's not on the list either?
Not on the list.
Okay.
One more shot?
I know like 17 Briannas, and that's not on there.
No.
Well, this is last year's list, JJ, and not 23 years ago. This is last year's list. But maybe they're going back to the basic names.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mary.
I thought they were going the other way myself.
Mary.
With Apple and stuff like
Yeah, right. Apple, yeah. Okay, here's
I have no idea.
Jerry.
Jerry's not on this. Okay, Mary, you got Anna as number 2.
Anna.
Anna.
Okay.
I love this name. This is probably my favorite name on the
Nicole.
list. Emma. Elizabeth. Now, you could have gotten that one. Elizabeth could have gotten that one.
Nicole may be on there.
And here's what I'm not really sure why my wife doesn't like this name. Although she had an aunt named this, and Minnie.
Minnie, like
Yeah,
Minnie
Minnie Mouse. Yeah. I mentioned Margaret. Ida. Now that surprises
That's
me.
old.
Ida. Well, these are all pretty old.
I know.
Alice, you got Bertha, as in Big Bertha. And here's one you could have gotten.
Can't name your kid Bertha anymore.
Sarah. That's one you could
Sarah,
have
that's
gotten. Okay.
easy. It's my grandma's name.
That's the list. So I'm just saying that's the list. So I'm not saying it's a great list. I'm just saying that is the list. So name you when you name your kids, you guys don't have to go through this. And I'm big on that. I won't say I've named all our kids, but I've had a big influence on it.
I've pretty much already named my kids in my head. I know
All right,
it's
what
not
are they?
going to work out like
What are
that. My first son's going to be John Joseph LaSalva III.
Well, no
We're going to
kidding.
call him Trey.
Yeah.
If I have a daughter, I want to be Olivia.
That's a good name.
My other sons, I really like Xavier.
Really?
I like that name a lot. But
You call him X-Man.
you know, yeah, Dr. X.
Yeah.
That was his name.
So, Tom, if you had children, what would you prefer for names?
I was going to have, when I thought I might have children,
Besides Buddy.
it was going to be Thomas something
Yeah.
and Brianna Nicole.
Brianna Nicole. Okay. Well, when I went through Brenda's, I've still got somewhere, I've got a piece of, looks like a towel. And I wrote a bunch of names at the hospital on it, like a paper towel. I had all kinds of names on there, and every now and then Brenda.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I bet you would. But one of them was Gray, G-R-A-Y, which I liked a lot.
I don't hate that name.
Yeah. And then I went for family names because Laurie's grandmother's name Lorraine. And
Yeah, we
her-
sort of did the family thing.
Yeah, and my sister's middle name was Elaine. That's Laurie's name. Brendan, I picked out Cole.
I like that.
Just a name because at that time there weren't that many Brendans.
Because it's not Brandon.
It's Brendan,
I
D-E-N.
like that.
A lot of people say D-A-N. It was Brendan. And I didn't know this at the time. I would have named him Brendan Francis because that name goes back in my family 7 generations. I only knew 3 whenever he was born.
Francis.
And I would like to name Francis because that name. Now, Alexander's middle name, my grandson is Francis. So he's got that name. Anyway, I think a lot goes into that, and I think people are interested in it, especially if you have children. Okay. The PC. You got a PC, I got an Apple Mac. What, you got a laptop, JJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
PC, it was a good run.
Yeah. Would you believe that Business Week says 70% of Americans are already using technology that will replace the PC?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get
believe
that because you're telling me 70% of America doesn't have a PC already?
Didn't say you didn't have it.
No, they're saying they're using something
other things additionally,
like a
as well.
laptop or
Or-
tablet.
A laptop
phone.
is a PC.
No, it's
phone.
not.
No.
Personal computer's what I got in front of me.
Oh, so this doesn't count as a PC?
No.
Oh,
No.
well, yeah, okay then. I thought.
Well,
you
now that's a
the
good
buddy
question.
said this
But
is
that's a
PC
good
and
question.
An Apple.
That's a good question. It might be.
Okay.
We need to. It may be, in fact, a laptop. But I'm saying you got to add the laptop and you got to add your phone. You remember,
Right,
you use
so
a lot
the
of Google
laptop-
on your phone.
But the laptop's not a PC.
I'm not sure.
Well,
about that.
the definition is a laptop is not. A personal computer is a general purpose computer whose size, capabilities, and original sale price makes it useful for. But the pictures, are basically
The
this:
towers.
a desktop.
Right, a desktop.
Right.
See, because that's the thing. I've always thought the differential between PC and Apple were the
Oh no! It
operating
says
systems.
a personal computer, maybe a desktop
See,
or
I
a
think-
laptop,
I think
tablet,
it is, yeah.
or handheld.
I think it is. So that includes laptops, yes.
So anything that's not Apple, I guess.
Right.
So a small group of little-known companies are already starting to develop things that are not PCs. And there's a story in the Motley Fool about it. Says that Motley Fool, by the way, is a legitimate business publication. One of the best, by the way, on business.
I like that
on
name.
investing. So what I see is I think we're talking about handheld things.
Right, but tablets that use the PC operating system. Because JJ just read a PC is
anything that's not
anything that's not. What did you read? It was a desktop, laptop, tablet.
See, I'm not sure about that. I think, but anyway, Merrill Lynch is calling this a $160 billion tsunami. It's not just some blip on the screen. That all of a sudden it's all changing.
I'm reading the story and it was from Motley Fool. It's on dailyfinance.com, but they are saying it's everything that's not Apple. Because they're saying right now Motley Fool analysts are buying Apple stock. It says the death of the PC.
But see, and here's why I wouldn't agree with that story. It's because the tablet is overtaking the laptop without a doubt. But now they've made tablets and all that can be laptop. They can convert them into laptops. So the tablet's going to be the end of the PC.
Yeah. Anyway, it's working differently. We'll talk more about that later. Come back. I'm going to tell you I've got tweets and quotes and 3 quick thoughts coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills. Just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
So what did you do with your weekend? Me? I was flying, because I'm taking flying lessons from Ocala Aviation. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I'd like to give that a shot, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I've got the solution. It's called the Discovery Flight, and that's exactly what it is. It helps you discover the wonder of flying and if it's for you. It's only $99, and it gives you the chance to learn a bit more about the airplane and then actually go for a ride with a flight instructor and take control of the airplane. That's how I got started, and now I'm on my way to being a pilot. I know, scary thought, right? But the demand for qualified pilots is stronger than ever. And with the help of Ocala Aviation, you could make a career change and learn to be a commercial pilot. But it all starts with a discovery flight. So stop by the flight school, conveniently located at the Ocala Airport. Visit the website at ocalaaviation.com or call 861-7484. That's 861-7484. Ocala Aviation. Your adventure starts here.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
All right, real quick, I'm going to give you my quick thoughts for today. For the most part, the people I talk to about the coverage of the grand jury and Chris Blair feel like the Prince story was a little over the top, mostly the headline, which many people felt was editorial judgment. This is like 3 people I talked to that had no dog in this fight. The headline was Grand Jury, Blair violated the spirit of campaign law. Most people thought that the headline had made an editorial statement. And it felt like maybe the best headline was the one below it, which is called a deck. And that said, panel declines to indict Marion County Sheriff over questionable contributions. I'm not defending anybody or taking it aside. I'm just speaking of clarity here, and that's my take on it so far from people I've talked to. Maybe we'll have a chance to have some dialogue on that in the next few days. Okay. I said this earlier. I'm so proud of Ocala and excited about what's happened to Marion Theater. And the fact that we're over the top now in this thing with the extravaganza coming up Friday night. It's the Great Gatsby extravaganza and premiere sold out. But we managed to ask the Sotos to give us a special showing at 10 o'clock. So Tito Comas, Tom Ingram, and Buddy Martin can buy tickets because we didn't get them. We forgot to buy them. So we have to have we're going to go upstairs at 10 o'clock, and we're going to go to the lit block party. But if you have any idea you want to go, call the Marion Theater now and get down there or go on Fandango and get your tickets because I waited too late. And if you want to be a part of a great night, I suggest you not. And finally, that commercial, I ate the bones, is driving me nuts. It's annoying.
KFC, correct?
Well, no, don't say that. Don't say that because I know what it's supposed to be. It doesn't make me want to buy the product. In fact, I'm not going to mention the name of it until you just said. Okay. So I was not going to mention the product. But it's just an annoying commercial. Okay, that's my take on it. Real quick tweets and quotes. Talked about Apple. First one's from Steve Jobs. Smart man was. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living somebody else's life. Number 2, the great Denzel Washington. You know, when you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud, too. And finally, pretty good philosophy here by somebody unknown. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. One more little item before we do the sports tease. Talked about somebody being resourceful. A San Diego man proposed to his girlfriend 11 years ago on a giant billboard. Last month, he decided to wish her a happy 10th anniversary on the same billboard.
I like that.
Robert Zakar told the local news station after proposing to his now wife using a 48-foot billboard that said, Valerie Kassab, will you marry me? He kept the billboard in his garage. After the 10th anniversary approached, Zakar began thinking about how he could celebrate and remembered the billboard. I figured, why not? I did it 10, 11 years ago. Let me do it again. He said, I kept her around for 10 years. So there you go. Coming up next hour, Buddy Sports Page got some reports from up Ponte Vedra.
I got a course record tied. Tiger Woods climbing up the leaderboard, and Roy McIlroy in position to make his first cut at the Players. We'll tell you all of that. Bring you up to date.
We're going to talk about the Seminoles. Gary Thurston, Seminole fan extraordinaire, is in the house. He'll tell us about...
He's coming in?
Oh, yeah. He'll be here, and he's going to be talking about the May 22nd Marion County Seminole Club golf outing and dinner at Country Club Ocala, so we'll get his take on that. All right, stay tuned to Buddy Sports Page and the Voice of Ocala right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around, but she grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Renstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, HMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here? Will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday. Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
WOCA. It's been 500 years since Spanish explorers first set foot on Florida's shores, naming our beautiful state Florida because of the many varieties of colorful flowers the Spaniards could see. I want to tell you another piece of history that is actually not his story, but her story. It's about all of the moms in your life. You and I wouldn't have a history if it wasn't for her story. And with Mother's Day this Sunday, you'll be happy to know that Kenny's Place Nursery has knockout roses on sale. Get Mom a 1-gallon size for just $8 and a 3-gallon size for just $15. Celebrate Mother's Day and her story with the same thing that gave Florida her name, flowers. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful. It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that is really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck.
So do I.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
On it, the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, is ordering police to stop leaking details of the case of 3 women who'd been kidnapped for almost a decade until this week. Frank Jackson says the victims and their families need their privacy. Can you put a price on retirement? Maybe not. A survey by Bank of America Merrill Lynch says the number one goal of most Americans is to have peace of mind when they stop working. There was no consensus, though, on how much that could cost. Fido is good for your heart. The American Heart Association says pet owners tend to have lower blood pressure, better cholesterol levels, and are less likely to be obese. Dog owners in particular are also most likely to get the recommended level of physical activity more than non-owners. It may not have been Lululemon's intention to make see-through yoga pants, but the, pardon the pun, visibility that they've given the company has been really good for its stock. Shares have been up as much as $5 this week. Namaste indeed. This is ABC News.
Don't be fooled by those all-purpose pretenders when it comes to caring for your grass. Hello, this is Scott for Scots. You know, grass here in the south has special needs. That's why, unlike those all-purpose fertilisers, Scott's Southern Turf Builder lawn food is specifically formulated for southern lawns. It contains just the right balance of nutrients to help keep your grass healthy and green. Learn more at Scotts.com. Go on, put down some Scott's Southern Turf Builder lawn food this weekend. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX trains are the most cost-efficient way to move goods to market. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, welcome to Buddy Sports Page on a Thursday. Boy, the weekend's coming fast. And that means today is Thursday, and this is May the 9th, and we've got a tournament going on in Ponte Vedra. Tom will be there, and Hunter. I think Hunter moved to Ponte Vedra. I believe he's got just moved up there.
He went today.
Yeah, I think he got a.
I'm wearing my media pass all day today.
You two, you guys are all going. I'll be working, by the way, just in case you guys want to know while you're up there playing around. I normally go to the players, but this year I can't make it. So we'll catch you up on the details of that in just a minute. Tom will give you the scores. Also, coming up just a minute, Gary Thurston is in the studio. It took me about, 2 years to get Gary in the studio, so we finally got him. We coaxed him. We had pictures on him. We finally got him in here. And we're going to talk some Seminole football. Years ago, Gary used to do a show with us over at the other station. And, quite frankly, we've talked about this a lot on this show, is that it's a different climate here right now in Marion County. And there are, a lot of people who are looking for options for people to root for in college football. Not to say the Gators aren't still very popular. They are. But there's a base that's kind of not real happy with some things that have happened in Gainesville. And although Muschamp had a good year and all that stuff, it's a different time. I think the bloom was off the rose a little bit. I've said this a number of times on the show, that if ever a school was going to make inroads here outside Florida, this is probably the time. And among those reasons are because in the fan base, there are many parents, second, third generation Gators, whose children graduate from good programs here, really good programs in our schools, and have great SATs and great report cards and all that kind of stuff, and have great recommendations, can't get the time of day in Gainesville. And they're going to Florida State or USF. Not they're not great students, but for some reason or other, they feel shut out and disenfranchised. And I've had several parents who had this happen to them and said, I'm done sending my money to Gainesville. And you know what? They're not buying tickets up there either, or skyboxes in one case. So there is that going on. And the Seminoles, this used to be a Seminole station, by the way. I used to carry the games here years ago, and not in the last 2 years. But the thing is that there's great college football in Florida, although it's been up and down. And it used to be a time when the big three here in this town, Miami, FSU, and Florida, all had a lot of support. And believe it or not, everybody followed it, and most people rooted for all the Florida teams, except when they played each other. It's different now. It's more divided. It's more cantankerous. It's more impassioned.
In my lifetime, there's never been a time where you root for the team just because they're from Florida.
Ever. As I was saying, JJ, I'm talking 45 years ago,
Okay.
so maybe your dad wasn't even born then. But, I mean, there was a time when the Miami played on Friday night, FSU played Saturday nights, Florida played in the afternoon. I know as a sports editor that we covered those teams, and we gave them, I wouldn't say equal play, but we cared about those teams. And I mean, I went and covered Miami games and FSU games, whatever.
So they relegated them to Friday nights back then.
They wanted to be on Friday nights. A number of reasons. Number one was
to not go up against UF.
That, but also the weather. It's hot in the daytime down there. That was one reason. So they had the market to themselves there. But anyway, and then of course they played the Saturday games, the big games, Notre Dame, all those games.
Right.
So anyway, I'm just talking about how the market's changed. I'm wondering if we're going through a little bit of a metamorphosis. We'll talk to Gary about that and see what he says about it. Meanwhile, some more basketball last night.
Yes.
9 combined player technical fouls called in the Bulls Heat game. The most in a playoff game since May 7th, 1995. I'm sure it's one of JJ's headlines.
Yes.
What you got for headlines, JJ?
The Heat did win last night, like we all knew they would after that Game 1 loss. They came out firing, buddy. 115-78, like you said they would the first quarter. LeBron really went off. Instead of 2 points in the first half, I think he had like 19 or something like that.
He had 12 in the first quarter.
Right. Last night, another impressive team, the Warriors. They gave up that first game with a 16-0 run. They almost gave it up again last night, but they held off a rally. It got to within like 3 or 4 points at one point.
There was some hearts pounding there.
Yes, especially Warriors fans' hearts. But both these series are tied at 1 apiece now, going to Chicago and going back to Oakland. There's no games tonight, actually.
Good.
Don't understand why.
And everybody's 1-1 now, aren't they?
Correct, but all the series.
Yep.
Last night, controversial baseball call.
By the way, before you shift gears, I wanted to tell you I'll be leaving the show after today, and I'm quitting.
Okay.
I bet everything I had yesterday on the game I told you about last night. Put it all on the Miami Heat. No matter what the line is, mortgage your house, your firstborn, put it all, because that was a slam dunk. I'm not a betting man, but if I was ever going to bet, I'd have put it.
They easily covered the spread.
Absolutely, you knew they would.
Yeah. Well, we could stick with the NBA. Luol Deng, Kirk Heinrich still on the mend. They might not be back for Game 3 in Chicago. That's huge. I don't know how much more Nate Robinson can really turn out, man. He's really milking it. MLB last night, Cleveland Indians, Oakland Athletics in the 9th inning. Controversial home run call. Angel Hernandez and his crew got together and didn't overturn the non-home run call. Today, the MLB came out and said they were wrong, but we're still not going to overturn it. You knew that was going to happen.
Now, by the way, you guys saw the video, right?
Yes.
Right.
All right, what do you think?
I think that they were right in saying that there wasn't enough visual evidence to see the ball hitting the black...
the yellow line, right?
Above the yellow line.
Above the yellow line.
Right, above the yellow line.
There was a black railing that the ball obviously hit, because the way it ricocheted, it just came straight back out.
What I knew...
if you use any common sense at all, you can figure out that it was a home run.
Angel Hernandez was asked by a pool reporter last night, what happened? He said, well, there was no clear evidence that it ever went above the yellow line. And I've watched the replay over and over, and there's clear evidence it never went below the yellow line, so therefore it had to be a home run.
But they called it a double on the field, so it's like the NFL. you call it a catch,
Right.
you have to have evidence that it wasn't a catch.
So, so the old
It was a bad call.
The old cliche is not true. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
You're right.
Well,
because they got it wrong twice.
Yes.
They got it wrong on the call and got it wrong on the replay.
So it's a slap in the face to
But there
all
was
the
precedent.
people that wanted to replay so bad.
But there was precedent to overturn it and pick the game up where it lost. And if you replay's put in for replay's sake to get it right, then you go back and use that precedent. There's already been precedent for this. George Brett was thrown out of a game for pine tar too high on the bat.
Yeah.
The home run was not allowed, and then he was thrown out of the game. Baseball the next day, about 3 days later, overturned that and picked the game up right where it had left off.
Wow.
And they could have done that with this, because if you put replay in to get it right, then when the league office looks at it, get it right, start the game 4-4, and
I'm
go
not sure
from
I'm
there.
in favor of that.
I don't
think
like
the
that
field
either.
needs to be called. But
But-
anyway, that's one option. You're right.
One
What
more
else?
headline.
Yeah.
I just want to do this just because me and our friend soccer expert over here had a disagreement on who would be the new Manchester
JJ
United
was
coach.
right.
David Moyes from Everton to replace Sir Alex Ferguson.
Hey, don't ever question
Right?
Mr. Soccer.
His
okay?
ESPN sources.
All right, what you got for up in Ponte Vedra? What's happening?
There's
there?
not much going on. It's just a golf tournament.
Well,
Robert
good. You
Castro.
don't need to go tomorrow.
Right?
Good. You can stay right here.
Yeah, Robert Castro, 9 under, ties a course record, fires a 63 today. Henrik Stenson, past champion, shoots a 4 under 68. Zach Johnson and Roy McIlroy, both at 6 under. Zach Johnson, former Masters champion. Roy McIlroy, major winner as well. Roy McIlroy never made the cut at TPC. Looks like he's going to make the cut today.
Never been under par.
Never been under par. Exactly. Yeah. Tiger Woods, 4 under through 11. Phil Mickelson, 2 under through 13. And our guy, Ted Potter Jr., he was even par for a while. Now he's 3 over through 15.
That's on a day when that's like shooting 88. Because
Right.
they're having low numbers there today. So
Former champ, last year's the defending champ, Matt Kuchar, 2 under through 11. So everybody's throwing up great numbers. I don't know what happened to Ted. He was even par through 10, and now I just looked up. He's 3 over through 15.
yeah, when you're somebody shooting 63, that's not a good day to do that. All right, coming up next, Gary Thurston. We'll talk a little Garnet and Gold. By the way, who is Philomena Tobias? Well, wait till you hear about her. She's a very, very well discussed person today, all over the internet, all over Twitter, and we'll tell you why a little bit later in the program. But next will be Gary Thurston talking about the Seminoles right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source. Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports. From NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Rinstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, HMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Rinstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Rinstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Rinstar. In impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
WOCA, News Talk 1370. Good talk, great conversation.
It's been 500 years since Spanish explorers first set foot on Florida's shores, naming our beautiful state Florida because of the many varieties of colorful flowers the Spaniards could see. I want to tell you another piece of history that is actually not his story, but her story. It's about all of the moms in your life. You and I wouldn't have a history if it wasn't for her story. And with Mother's Day this Sunday, you'll be happy to know that Kenny's Place Nursery has knockout roses on sale. Get Mom a 1-gallon size for just $8 and a 3-gallon size for just $15. Celebrate Mother's Day and her story with the same thing that gave Florida her name, flowers. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey, everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs, too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Chose a gun and threw away the sun.
Hi, welcome back to the program. It's like old times here. Back in the day. You know how long it's been, Gary? It's been 17 years.
No, it has been. It has been.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we started off from just a little show.
It was a lot of fun during those days. You know, I mean, it was kind of new and fresh. We had remember the show that we used to have. We had not necessarily the head ball coach.
Oh yeah,
Dan Trulock.
Yeah, Dan Trulock. He did a great job.
Fabulous.
He called in all the time.
Oh, he was fabulous.
We had Dr. Rick calling in.
Dr. Rick calling all the time. He's a big FSU fan, right?
He lives in Georgia.
Yeah,
cardiologist.
Yeah, I heard Thomasville. And then we had a guy, we had Kevin, who's still here in town, used to get off the atomic sub or whatever it was, nuclear sub in Connecticut. Umatilla Steve called our show. We had a cadre of callers that were unusual.
Well, we really got quite a few calls. We would do 20 calls an hour sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty long.
A lot of calls. And people don't call talk radio like they used to. You know why? That phone in your pocket. They text, they do this. They don't talk. They don't call shows nationally or locally. They just don't call shows unless you're giving something away. Then they call. But I mean, that was quite an experience. You were part of that whole thing. You and Brantley did the Gator Seminole show, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a Gator Seminole show, and then we did the Florida State Hour of Power. Kevin Brooks and I, Dr. Kevin Brooks.
Where's Kevin Brooks?
He's right here doing well. Got a couple grandkids and working hard. And that show started off as a way to get more, like as you say, get a little more mixture in the community and bring the Seminoles in, who are a big part of the community now with so many kids going to Florida State. And Florida's still the big dog in the area because they're close. But, Florida State is definitely, a statewide powered everywhere now.
What's your take on that particular aspect of the culture? You're going to be talking about the first segment.
Yes.
What's your take on, and I know you see it from a different view, which is good, but I want you to say, among you had a lot of Gator friends. What is your take on how the culture is changing regarding that?
Well, I think that Florida has been less receptive to local, especially local alumni, kids getting in school, no matter how good their grades are. They have certain criteria like Florida State has. We had 26,000 applications last year for 6,500 slots as a freshman class, maybe 7,000 slots. Yeah, the SAT scores and the GPAs are very similar to both schools now because they're both, full. and with all the bright futures and all the kids coming out of high school and making all these new junior colleges, you know, the hard thing is if you can transfer into Florida, so it knocks out a lot of kids coming in. So Florida, particularly though, under their president, has made a distinct effort to try to up their academic standards. He's trying to get the Senate and the state to recognize them as the lone big school of the state, which everybody's fought. You know, it's not going to happen. You know, he goes every year with some big plan. But, you know, I think that they have to realize that, you know, long term, they need more local kids in, not just Miami, not just from every other country in the world to keep their academic standards up, because there's enough smart kids to do that here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to bash the Gators because, you know, I still bleed orange and blue. You have a good relationship with a lot of Gators. But it feels to me like maybe a lot of Gator fans feel like we've been to the mountain. We've been there. We've got 3 national championships. The games are expensive. The tickets are expensive. The economy's tough. I got a great widescreen TV at home, high def. I can watch the game. Doesn't cost me a dime.
Air conditioning.
If I want to go to a game, I can go to a game. If I don't, I can stay home.
We have the same problem. You know, but demographically, the Gators get, 90% of their people come within 50 minutes of the stadium. Right. 90% of our people come within 3 hours of the stadium.
Yeah, because you're out there in the Northwest Florida.
So it's a tougher deal. So we're right now in the process of revamping. I'm on the National Booster Board and the executive committees, and we're looking at actually downsizing what we take as number of people long term, because every game's on TV. So we have to have a better home schedule, which we're working desperately on. And so does Florida. You know, they get their SEC schools in, but we all can't live off these yo-yos we bring in here. The Montanas and the Idahos expect to fill the stadium.
Over. That day is over. The directional school schedules is not going to work anymore.
And Florida's struggling too. They're not selling tickets. They're not getting seats renewed.
Can you imagine that?
Well, then,
you couldn't get a ticket 5 years ago.
No, now they don't even offer a payment program for their season ticket holders. FSU, we offer numerous ways to buy tickets and come, but we're looking at different ways to come, and you got to fight TV now. Everybody's got their own channel. Listen, as much as you love the SEC channel, and the ACC will have a channel with our new way we signed our new contract.
Did a smart thing, by the way. They structured it too, but anyway,
it has. Both we don't know if it's great. We don't. Nobody's really in love with the ACC, but because we travel a long ways. But still, we have a big community. Either way, we're there. What we did was probably the right thing to do. We'll see if the TV network comes up, but with more TV, less people go to the games.
Yeah, what do you
do?
I
don't know if you guys agree with that. But,
I agree with it, and I think you have to find some excuse. That's what it is. We have a mutual friend, who says it's not the game, it's going to the game. That used to be a lot of fun. The tailgating, the partying, for a lot of people. Not so much maybe you and me.
See, as a 23-year-old, that is what I like.
Yeah, I know. And younger people like to go. You have sons that rather go to the game, and
I think that's true when you're close, but still, you can do a lot more hanging out watching at your house now than you can on your 60-inch TV.
Right.
We were watching them on 12-inch TV.
Oh yeah. Do you stay overnight when you go to Tallahassee?
Oh yeah, you almost have to. You have a condo there, anyways. But yeah,
you have one there with your kids.
Most home games, all the big home games, you're sold out. But that's another problem because the hotels up there just hammer everybody.
Yeah.
To go to you going to the Florida game next year, you go to Miami game, it's cost you $500 for a hotel room for 2 nights or more.
Oh yeah.
Plus travel and food.
2-night minimum and all that.
$1,000 to go, and the way the economy's been, it's very difficult.
So, all right, I'm looking at your schedule.
Yeah.
I see your schedule. Are you on the board up there?
Yes, I am.
The athletic board?
Yes.
Okay. And let me make one other point about Florida State. What I think of why the inroads are different. Florida's head coach doesn't come here anymore. Hasn't for years.
That's a decision he made early on, and the last coach made.
I understand. I'm just saying it's a fact. Jimbo Fisher will be here on the 22nd of May.
He will be here. He will.
Now, just make of that what you will, Gator fans. That's one of the things that you got to stop. That means to me, it's a statement. Well, we're fairly important to Jimbo Fisher and Florida State. Maybe not so much to Jeremy Foley, and University of Florida, because they don't send their assistant coaches down. That's nice and all that. But the head coach has, up until Urban stopped doing it, always came to Ocala. Always.
No, they always did. Of course, Bobby set the precedent because for 30 years he went everywhere in his car, and so we're having a harder time because the head coach's time is really shrunk up. It's a machine now between workouts and pre-camp and after camp, and so it's a little more difficult. But when you're only 40 miles from Gainesville, you would think the head coach would come down here once a year to see somebody.
Yeah, P.S. They added a Gator Club in Gainesville, and that's where that time they went. He goes to that one instead of here. So
it's easy. You roll out of bed.
But nonetheless, all right, look, let's talk about your schedule.
Yeah.
You got some newcomers here. It's going to be interesting. I got it right in front of me. You got Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good opening game. Then you got a couple of,
We moved that game, as you know.
Where is it?
Pittsburgh was moved to the opening game because originally.
Oh, it is an opening game.
Yeah, it is, but it was originally later in the year. We switched spots to get Pittsburgh to open because otherwise we opened with 3 really cupcakes.
Nevada, Bethune-Cookman, and whatever. So So and Nevada, by the way, Nevada can score some points now. Don't get it.
No. Colin Kaepernick doesn't go there.
Yeah, but they can score points. But I mean, look, and then you get into Boston College, Maryland, Clemson, NC State, Miami, the big one, Wake Forest, Syracuse.
Our home schedule is weak this year.
Syracuse, and then Idaho, down then Florida. Your home schedule is Syracuse, Idaho, Miami, NC State, Maryland, Bethune-Cookman, Nevada. Yeah, it is. And, now how much are tickets, just ordinary tickets for FSU games?
Well, you can buy the cheapest ones, really. You can buy packages of 3 seats with one good game and probably pay $25 a head.
Really?
Cheaper to Gator games.
And you get them without having to go pay any license fee?
No. You can buy packages for us for full season tickets, and then we offer packages where we throw in one good game and 2 crummy games, and people do that. But next year, we're looking to really up the ante for the schedule because that's what we've done. And by solidifying the conference, that will help us. Yeah. But we're not going to all make it play in Idaho and Bethune-Cookman.
Right. Now, sell me. I'm a guy in Ocala. Okay, I'm not Buddy Moore. I'm a guy in Ocala. Let's say I've been here 5 years. I went to Michigan or something, and I'm kind of looking for a college football program. I like the Gators, okay, but I'm looking around. I'm thinking, well, USF, maybe UCF. Why should I look at FSU as a fan base and to follow? And why should I embrace the Seminole culture?
That's a great question. I think, like a lot of things is what you like to see. Why do you like garnet and gold versus orange and blue or green and orange? I think the Seminoles are a well-coached team. Mm-hmm. I think we're not having the off-the-field problems we had before. Mm-hmm. I think recruiting's going to be pretty solid. We'll be, within the ACC where we are going to be a national contender. Mm-hmm. We're pretty exciting. Last year Florida played very good at home and beat us. We had a few mistakes, but I think we've corrected that. Our coaching staff this year is much better than last year. We didn't lose. We lost some good people, but we have better people this year. I think everybody's convinced about that, experience-wise. So I think, the difference between Florida State and Florida, if you want somebody, is not much. It's just what's your feeling towards being a Gator fan?
SEC.
The SEC versus the ACC. The SEC's been on a run.
Run.
They've been on
like
a run.
Until the hunt.
But quite frankly, the Southeast, some of that has to do because Miami's, kicked himself in the leg, and Florida State, until Jimbo came, we were kicking ourselves the last 3 years, and Florida kind of balanced the ship.
Yeah. See, I think you missed 2 important points there.
Okay.
If I'm I'm just saying, as a marketing guy, if I'm trying to say, okay, what have I got here? I'm selling all of that. I'm selling, number one, how many guys went to the NFL this year from Florida State?
More than anybody else.
12?
11
drafted,
signees.
Just drafted.
11 drafted. We had, I think, 16 total with free agent contracts.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
I'd say maybe you could sell. We're a little more friendly. We're a little more open. We're a little more.
It's hard for me to say that, buddy, though.
but I mean, seriously, think about it. We're a little more accommodating. We have. We're not. I mean, what I mean by this, I don't mean your fans in the games. I mean just simply things like Ocala. Your head coach comes down here,
if you like basketball, there's no better conference in America. If you like baseball, there's probably no better conference in America. Yeah. So, you can always have the SEC has picked football, which, listen, it's a Southeast sport. Yeah. You can say that Michigan's going to have a great team. Never. You're going to say Ohio State, listen, they'll be 11-0. They'd still lose to Florida and Florida State 9 out of 10 times next year.
But what have you got to sell in Tallahassee the Gators don't have? What do you got to sell?
Well, I think Tallahassee is a great town.
It is a great town.
It's a great town.
It really
it's completely different. Number one, it's the state capital. It's a beautiful community. It has a lot going for it. You have a medical school now. You have all the same things you have in Gainesville, except probably more government type activities. I think you have a beautiful campus. Florida's got a beautiful campus. We're not as spread out. What we sell when kids come to school is when you go to Florida State, the campus is where it's at. It's not all over the community. So
why aren't there more people out there preaching the gospel of the Seminoles?
I don't know. We're full. It's like we're
full of what? You're not sold out.
No, the stadium's not sold out. But our schedule's been a big problem.
Yeah, but I mean, what? But you still got to market word of mouth. I mean, why isn't that happening? Why isn't somebody trying to convince me or whoever else the Seminoles are the coolest thing since
Well, I think that runs in cycles. We were for years. In the 90s and early 2000s, there was no.
But how do you get that back? That's what I'm trying
You got
to
to
get
win.
at.
You got to win big games. We didn't do that. Florida struggled the same
Florida
way.
didn't win a big game.
Yeah.
Haven't won in several years.
Yeah, no. Well, they won since we've won.
They've had some.
They had Tebow. They had their chances.
Right.
They had that when Urban came in with that good team. They won.
When Charlie Pell went down. Charlie Pell told me this before he died. If I hadn't have screwed up, the Seminoles never would have called us. That's the way he viewed it. That's his view. Now, you can take that as you weigh, but the fact is that you did jump in the 80s and began to get in the top recruits and rose to a power.
Well, we did, and Bobby did a great job. And you know what? A little bit of that's luck. Some kids stayed, timing luck. And, right now, you got USF. You got Central Florida. You've got Florida Atlantic. These kids are going. You don't get. You used to recruit a third team or second team fullback. It's hard to get that now.
Yeah.
You got to get a walk-on. You get somebody because those kids can go play at Florida Atlantic or UCF or Valdosta State and have a pretty good.
And you mentioned it. You mentioned it, and they are creeping up. From the south, you've got Orlando, and you got USF.
Well, UCF's the biggest school in the state.
I know, and you got USF, UCF, and then you still got other
USF
programs.
already beat Miami and Florida State, buddy.
Yeah,
they did.
But my point is the fan base here. It's all about fan base. So it's competition for the dollar and the fan base. And right now, I think this is open. I think it's open.
Well, we talked about switching conferences. Why would the SEC want FSU? Well, they don't.
No, they don't want that.
They did it one time, but we're a competitor for Florida. We all recruit the same areas.
We got the market.
We got the market. So it never really made a sense to us to be part of the SEC.
The SEC's passing a law, or thought about it, of having no more than 2 teams in the state anymore.
Well, because how many can you recruit, and then you start diluting everything down. So that's where you're at with that.
All right, you want to say something before we go to break, big guy? You're standing there with a mic in your hand. You're saying.
I was just going to remind you that one of the big advantages Tallahassee has, they have much better golf courses than Gainesville.
And that's not saying much because Florida, they're both a little deprived of quality golf courses.
All right, you going to stay with us in a minute?
Yeah, stay here.
Okay, we'll talk about some other sports and things and whatever, but also want to talk about that event on the 22nd. Good information where people can get a hold of whatever. We'll take a break. Back on Buddy's Sports page after this timeout on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none. We have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6 right here on WOCA, The Source.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that is really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
It's been 500 years since Spanish explorers first set foot on Florida's shores, naming our beautiful state Florida because of the many varieties of colorful flowers the Spaniards could see. I want to tell you another piece of history that is actually not his story, but her story. It's about all of the moms in your life. You and I wouldn't have a history if it wasn't for her story. And with Mother's Day this Sunday, you'll be happy to know that Kenny's Place Nursery has knockout roses on sale. Get Mom a 1-gallon size for just $8 and a 3-gallon size for just $15. Celebrate Mother's Day and her story with the same thing that gave Florida her name, flowers. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprance. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
Good talk, great conversation. WOCA, News Talk 1370.
All right, back on the program called Buddy Sports Page. Gary Thurston joins us. Now we go out to Michael W. Compton, horse racing expert extraordinaire. Had a little bit of a rough time at the Derby, but got a little bit of a thrill out of his horse. That's all you can ask. And, Michael, I really enjoyed the Kenny Mayne article that you sent me.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, what was it? Will I ever learn, right? we can all identify with that one about, well, it's like the time my friend told me. I guess she was a member of the Phipps family. We really liked this horse. Was it Pleasant something, whatever it was? And she all but gave him the winner, and he didn't listen to her. And then, of course, he didn't have the winner on the Derby either. But I thought it was very entertaining.
Oh, terrific column. And, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, these types of families that have been a part of horse racing for 100 years, you know, the types of horses that they've bred. And, you know, one of the famous horses in this family, which is a name everyone knows, is Ruffian. And Ruffian's in the Kentucky Derby winners family, back a handful of generations. But nonetheless, you know, the people connections were, as we talk about a lot, it's such a big part of the fabric of horse racing. And, yeah, Kenny Mayne had a great column in ESPN, on ESPN.com for your listeners, talking about his Derby Day experience, which, like a lot of ours, didn't go quite how we envisioned it.
Exactly. Well, that part of the story is interesting. That's what made people like Damon Runyon so interesting as a writer. He wrote about those kind of people who bet the inveterate gamblers, you know, which is always a great start of the sport that we don't talk about much. Let's talk about the Preakness. You're headed there in a couple of weeks. Well, you're actually headed there next week, aren't you?
Next week, yes.
Yeah.
And my assignment is actually covering the Black-Eyed Susan Day, which is like the Kentucky Oaks version of the Preakness. So we'll be up there next week, and I hope to get a look at a lot of the Preakness contenders in the flesh, you know, which we didn't get a chance to do leading into the Derby, watching here from Ocala. But, yeah, I'm real excited to see Orb in the flesh and see what he looks like. And Normandy Invasion, as you mentioned, he gave us a brief thrill in the Derby. His connections are on the fence whether or not they're going to go in the Preakness. And, you know, a lot of these horses right after the Derby, they need a few days to kind of rest up. And they've started hitting the track back, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least for some, you know, minor exercise and start stretching again before a possible work maybe this weekend. So I know the connections like to watch the horses move, see how they come out of the race, and we should have a better idea of who's actually going to run in the Preakness this weekend.
And we'll know whether Orb is the deal or not next weekend if we're going to have a Triple Crown candidate, which, in a way, I hope we don't, because I still want a firm to have that honor, and he being an Ocala-bred horse. But it makes it interesting when you go to Belmont with one alive, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. And you know, buddy, from years of covering the Triple Crown that, many people in horse racing embrace the Derby winner one way or another. It doesn't matter if you were in the camp prior to the race. I think all of us entertain the ideas and the notion of what a Triple Crown winner could do, and even the attention that it brings, leading up to the Belmont. Even though we've had a lot of close calls in recent years, the racing gods just haven't allowed it to happen. And, the racing gods do exist.
Yes, they do.
So, it's whether or not they embrace this horse and he can get it done. But we all think about what it could do as far as putting horse racing on the map of a lot of mainstream sports fans today.
It's going to happen again, and hopefully we'll be around to see it happen. And I would love the opportunity to see another Ocala Florida bred up there running again, as we've seen so many years. And, Michael, you and I got a lot to talk about, some things we're working on together. Are going to be exciting. I'm excited about it. And meanwhile, we'll check. When are you leaving to go to Baltimore, Wednesday or Tuesday?
I think Thursday. We'll be up there Thursday. Yeah.
Hopefully, if you have time, we'll talk to you from up in Baltimore. You give us your workouts and tell us how things look, and be able to do another on the road edition of Horse Country with Michael W. Compton.
You got it. I look forward to it.
Thank you, Michael. Michael W. Compton. He didn't get lucky with the picks, but he sure knows how to write about it. I'll say that. Gary Thurston is our guest here. And we're talking primarily about the Knowles and Gators and what have you. And Gary, E.J. Manuel, controversial pick by Buffalo. The guy everybody knew had great potential, that damning word that you hate to hear. Never quite blossomed into the quarterback that we all thought he might be at Florida State, but enormous upside in many ways. Big, strong, had a good arm, whatever. A little bit surprising to see the Buffalo Bills take him in the first round.
Well, I guess what we read is they really kept it quiet. But, John Grudem, as you heard him say, said he was his number one quarterback.
Yeah.
He worked with him. He had the kid from West Virginia down at 30 or 35th this pick. My mind just went blank. But he also had some off-field,
Geno Smith or Pat White?
I was
Geno
saying
Smith.
Pat White.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Geno
thinking.
Smith.
They're the
what
same
you get
guy.
with EJ is a wonderful young man whose family's terrific.
Everybody talks about what a great kid he is.
That he's at 6'5", 240, runs a 4.65. His unbelievable scrambling ability, which will give him some chance in Buffalo at first to move the ball around. And I think what you're going to see is a kid that really, you watch the Florida game and you wonder where he was that game, because that killed the Florida State team. But he had very few of those games. And, another year or two under some good tutelage and the right offense for him, he's probably going to do very well. You got to give it to Jimbo. Two of his last two starting quarterbacks are first-round draft picks. So, when you're recruiting kids, and with Jameis Winston coming up and Coker now, with Trickett being
Which
told,
one of those are going to be the quarterback? I was a little surprised about Trickett, although obviously you saw the handwriting on the wall.
I knew that ahead of time.
I kind of like Trickett a little bit. I just like his gumption when he came in off the bench, when Manuel was hurt.
Can't run the ball in Jimbo's offense.
That's probably true. He's too fragile.
6'4". Yeah. Well, here's the trouble. You got a junior, you're going to put a lot of time in, and then you got a sophomore and a redshirt freshman coming in, who both have terrific mechanics and abilities.
Yeah.
I think Winston will probably has the it factor a little more than Coker. They'll both play a lot because if one gets hurt, one can run the offense again. With Trickett, you stop doing what you do and you go kind of like with poor John Brantley. You stop the TiVo offense, you throws him in, and you got a team now that's used to working on all the deal. It wasn't John's fault, though. A lot of that was just the team wasn't ready for that.
I don't understand why FSU hasn't been able to run the ball since Warwick Dunn left. They can't run the football. You did it better last year.
Oh, we ran a lot last year.
Better. But, this is a team that used to be able to run the ball really well. Always been a passing team. But back in the 60s, I remember they were way ahead of the game in passing. They were one of the first teams to throw the ball around.
Here's the deal. But you play good defenses, it's hard to run the ball.
I guess, but I would just think that they'd be able to run the ball. All right, final thought, and we're going to get an update on the tournament. Bobby Bowden, beloved figure that took your school to so many great moments, national championships, glory.
30-plus years.
Unceremoniously kind of moved aside, and I understand that was hard, for everybody, and sad in a way for everybody. Finally going to be welcomed back next year.
Well, we've tried to get him back, but when he said he'd leave, whether he left the way he left, which was a time to go, or if he left on his own, he said he would leave for 2 or 3 or 4 years and not come back. He said that at every banquet for 30 years. When I leave, I'm not coming back for a while because I don't want the next guy to be judged by me or judged as me. And also, he said it's time for me to be done, especially after putting in 30-plus years. Well, now he's coming back for the 20th anniversary of the national championship team, and he's coming back for an honorarium and another game. So he's kind of mended some bridges of what went on, but some of those were his own fault.
Yeah.
You know?
But FSU needs to heal on that. That needs to be healed up.
Well, we're pretty much past all that.
You know?
I mean, that's really kind of one of those
You
things
think?
where, as far as the program goes.
Because to the outsider, I don't think you are. I think the outsider looking in, they're saying, well, they kind of give Bobby a little tough time. And I think there's a little bit of a feeling there that maybe.
Age. We're older.
Well, it could be.
The older
but it would be good to get it past you and move on,
well,
right?
once he comes out twice this year and he stands on that sideline, I think you'll see that happen.
All right, Jimbo Fisher. He's going to be here in the flesh on the 22nd. Golf tournament going on. Got a dinner at Country Club Ocala that night.
Yes.
Got a good chef out there. It's going to be a good dinner, I guarantee you. How does a person get to go to that?
Well, if you have any interest, just go online, go to Seminole Boosters. You can call Marion County Seminole Club. There's a website for that. Just look it up.
Do we have a number for
I'm
that?
going to give you a phone number right now. You're going to
take a minute if you got it there. We'll put it out there.
It's going to be Tuesday to the Wednesday the 22nd.
Starts at.
We only have 200 seats available this year. We normally have 300.
Really?
So we're about 3/4 sold out. So if you want a ticket, get hold of somebody.
$40 a pop.
$40 a pop.
That includes what? Dinner and golf?
Dinner. Golf's extra.
Yeah, I'm going to say if you got $40 of golf and dinner, you really got a deal.
Golf's going off right after lunch down there. There's a box lunch, golf, and then a dinner.
Okay.
So a lot of those tickets. We already have 18 golf teams.
So lunch and golf, and then dinner is extra.
So if you want to get in, get your golf team in now. There's only 3 or 4 spots available, and there's not many spots left for the banquet. We had a downside.
Can Gators actually come and play?
Yeah,
they welcome.
We welcome everybody.
Yeah,
okay. We do.
You don't discriminate against the orange and blue. You sure?
No, we sure don't. Jimbo will not do that to you. Bobby might have, but
we'll be broadcasting from out there.
Yeah, that'd be
so
fine.
We'll be looking for you, and we're hoping Jimbo and get a chance to visit.
Jimbo will be there with Al Dunlap, who helped the major sponsor.
I know
he's
done some great things for you guys up there.
Which is done. The indoor practice facility open. It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He's a great Seminole for you guys for sure. Gary, thanks. Appreciate it very much,
Appreciate it, buddy. And,
have a go. We'll talk soon and.
Good luck on the station. And,
thank you. Yeah, we've been almost 2 years at this station, so there you go. But
time flies.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Gary Thurston, Seminole extraordinaire. We'll take a break. Come back. Time we'll update you on the Players Championship right here on Buddy Sports Page 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, the source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase process fixed rate allowance.
Mayday! Mayday! Our buyer blew it. He ordered 38 cars instead of 8. And now we have got way too much inventory.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I've got to sell these 30 cars extra fast. I'm going spastic, so I've got to do something drastic.
Qualified buyers with $5 down can drive a nicer, newer car today. Who knew $5 could get you a nicer, newer car?
Well, it can, because I'm in a jam.
Is bad credit causing you distress? My For the People credit approval process just may save the day. Get approved for a nicer, newer car you'll love. Mayday! Mayday! Get down to Prestige Auto Sales right away. The Mayday Madness ends after we've cleared 37 cars.
My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to the source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into the source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Do you wonder why you continue to experience pain? Is your daily routine affected by your body telling you that it hurts? Let us explain why this may be happening to you every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the Head to Toe Care Show. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center, available to serve you and answer any questions that you may have. Again, that's on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
We're back on Buddy's sports page. JJ there got caught watching golf because it's riveting golf. You got caught, didn't you, JJ?
I did. I caught myself.
Roy, the tournament up in the Players' Championship up in Ponte Vedra, Florida. Robert Castro, your clubhouse leader, shot a course-tying 63 today, buddy, in a golf course that's out there for the taking, as the scores tell you. There are 2 people tied at 6 under for second place. Rory McIlroy, one of those. Tiger Woods, 1 stroke back of second at 5 under. He's 4 strokes off the lead. Henrik Stenson, past winner, 4 under.
Ron Sarek, one of the guys he mentioned yesterday. Stenson's the guy to watch.
Tell you a funny story about Henrik Stenson. He was doing an interview 2 years ago. He had hit a shot on number 9 from about 305 yards, rolled it up to about 18 feet, and they asked him, said, what club did you hit there? He said, yeah, I scared 300 with a 4-wood.
So I don't know how to pronounce his name. I always want to say Henrik. And Henrik, I know.
Matt Kuchar, last year's champion, at 2 under through 14. Bad news for Ocala, our guy Ted Potter Jr., 3 over through 17.
I'll have to bring it back tomorrow, Teddy. Bring it back strong.
Yeah. But on a day-to-day where 63, 2 66s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 67s have been shot, to be right now, if he pars 18, to be a 74. I meant to be a 75. Not really that good.
It's not his kind of golf course.
It really isn't his kind. He's a boomer. He's a bomber.
Yeah, it's not.
Teddy likes to bomb it out there.
Yeah, it's not a bomber's golf course, and that's what I said. Tiger's only won it once. I think Greg Norman won it once. Whatever. So you're headed up there tomorrow.
Be headed up there tomorrow morning,
and you'll be there. You'll be with the Republican Party on Saturday night, the Hilton, black tie affair, whatever. Rubbing shoulders.
You should see me in this tuxedo.
No, I don't want you.
I look like what was the penguin back in the
penguin?
No, not that the cartoon character, Chili Willy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, text us a picture. Let us know how it goes. I'm sure you're doing a great job.
I will certainly not do that.
Tell all my Republican friends hello. And
I will.
I'm looking forward to going to the Symphony of the Stars on Sunday and watching the Players when I come back. And,
JJ's going to the Players on Saturday.
He is. He's going to be there, and Hunter, the whole gang. So you guys tell my buddies hello up there. I won't make it this year. So here's an interesting story I'll finish up with. The Redskins in Washington, people are always talking about changing the name of the team or whatever.
Stop it.
Now, I can understand, in a sense, how this is a more sensitive issue than the Seminoles. Because the Seminoles have a partnership with the Seminole Nation.
Right.
They actually do embrace it.
Right.
As a way of, proud heritage of Seminole Indians. And there's not a problem. But there's continually this whole thing with the Redskins, on and on and on. Daniel Owen said today, we will never change the name of the team. As a lifelong Redskins fan, and I think that the Redskins fans understand there's a great tradition, what it's all about, we feel pretty fortunate to be working on next season now. We will never change the name. Memo to Daniel.
Daniel who?
Never say never.
Daniel who said that?
Daniel Snyder, the owner of the team.
Oh, because you said Daniel Owen.
Oh, did I say?
Yeah, you said Daniel
I was like,
Owen.
I didn't even know he liked
I said, I didn't have any idea Daniel
Daniel
Owen
Snyder.
was a fan.
Well, you know what?
He had
Maybe,
that much pull.
let me check. It might have been Daniel Owen. He might have said, sounds something you say.
Dan Snyder, the owner.
It's getting late in the day. Daniel Snyder, we will never change the name of the team. And Daniel Snyder, never say never. Thanks to Laurie Martin Gregory for the first hour today. Gary Thurston in the house talking Seminoles. Mike Compton. Thanks to JJ, Tom, and down goes Frazier. I'm Buddy Martin. Have a great night.